Welcome, everyone. This is Season 3 playoffs time. It has begun. Welcome, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. It is great being here tonight. Manny, we got on the stream running it going on. I got my buddy Flash with me. How you doing, man?
We're doing great. Honestly, ready to see some games. Yeet Street against Desolate. I'm kind of curious if Yeet Street can actually bring it out and push themselves back into the finals like last season, or if their time is over and the Yeet bias is complete. Let's see if they can win off these games because you got to start slow. But today they're against Desolate. If they win today, they move on. If Desolate wins today, they move on as well. So best of three, and I'm excited to see what goes on.
Yeah, quick rundown for the season 3 playoffs. This is the 4-5 match between Yeet and Desolate. Yeet with a couple points advantage over Desolate, being in fourth place with a 6-2-3 record versus Desolate's 5-2-4 record. They tied in their head-to-head meeting, so one of the ties are straight up here. On the other side of the bracket, we have Royal Era, who went 7-3-1 with 22 points. They will be taking on Riddle Raiders tomorrow night at 4-2-5, and we got Poyo Drifters and IRL Sluts waiting with the buys for next week. Well, let's focus on tonight's match. Flash, what are you looking for? You said you're looking for Yeet to try and pull it back together to get to the championship. Is that what you're looking for the most tonight?
Well, I'm just looking for good games, but I am curious to see if Yeet Street can bring it back. But I mean, it will be quite interesting to see what happens. We are into Champion Select right now. The first three bands coming on the side of Yeet Street are going to be Tarek, Fiora, and Echo. And on the other side, it looks like it is going to be Vagar, Nunu, and Rai. So Nunu just got buffed because of the recent patch. So 8.2 is live right now. So
Nunu and hotfix today. Got hotfix this morning.
Did get hotfix this morning.
Yeah. So but still too strong out there. Notice certain champions. There's the Sejuani lock-in. I'm probably on a little bit of delay here because of the spectator mode. But are we going to see Ornn? Ornn got another nerf in 8.2. I don't think Ornn is a must first pick anymore.
Well, they are going to pick up the Zac for probably the jungle. I don't think they're going to flex that anywhere else. And so I'm going to assume it is going to be Zac and Sejuani to the first jungle picks coming out as well. Like you said, 8.2 has come out. I am really happy to see that ADCs don't go Relic Shield anymore. Because I hated that thing in 8.1.
Sorry, ADCs, if you enjoyed the Relic Shield meta. I thought it was miserable watching just sustain lanes in the bot lane. I want to see some fighting. The Sejuani and Zac, pretty strong tanky, ganky junglers. Once they hit level 6, we can definitely see a lot of CC coming in. Both of these junglers like to run the CC champions. They have pretty good, CC scores coming out from their end, and their wards are pretty high as well. So looking for green smitems from them. I'm on the real spectator delay. Who we got next coming up?
They haven't picked up the next one, but looking at Sejuani and Alistar, I'm gonna assume that they're gonna put T-Crank on someone that's just going to farm it out early. They are gonna bring out a Xayah. Not expecting a Xayah, I'll be honest. I was expecting more of a... Because of the Sejuani and Alistar, because of all that CC, I was expecting something for late game, but Xayah does come out on the side of T-Crank right there, and Sindelian is going to be picking up, like you said, Zac and Varus on the other side. So they do have a jungler and an ADC picked up already. Sindelian is the last one to be picking.
Now, when we look at the Sindelian versus, Charlie Smells matchup in the mid lane here, are they going to... I don't think they pick a mid laner. They probably go for the support to run. Oh, there's the Braum.
Yeah.
I'm watching off the stream, guys, because of too many, cooks in the kitchen. Spectator mode. Also, okay, real quick, who's XFO? I'm looking on the sheets here. There's no guy named XFO on these sheets. Is that Zero? Is that Speed?
No, I think XFO is...
Is that Track? It's who?
Hina.
Okay. Well, I don't have any stats for XFO, so I'm not exactly sure how to compare him to Yosidon. Yosidon's pretty, like, a stable top laner, though, for...
Yeah, XFO's a sub for Kira, I guess. did play last time on Desolate. Last time I casted Desolate, XFO was in the top lane.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, second draft phase, or the second ban phase already has occurred. Gangplank and Gnar has been taken out, so they don't want XFO to play Gangplank or Gnar. And also Malzahar and Zera. So Charlie just getting a little punished today. All these mid lane bans except for the Nunu. But they do pick the Kassadin, so I'm gonna be quite curious to see if what they can do with that Kassadin.
Well, when Yeet did go on their run last year, it was a lot of Charlie Smells just dominating the mid game, roaming around, picking up kills. We're gonna see if he can do the same with the Kassadin. But interesting pick, taking that into the Vladimir, kind of going to be a sustain lane in the mid lane if Vlad does stay mid. Although you could probably flex it up to the top lane here, depending on how else they want to run out their comp. That's a lot of a whole lot of tankiness coming out from Desolate here. Vlad can be more on the tanky side depending on how you want to play that particular lane matchup.
Well, both comps have been rounded out. This is game one, Yeet Street against Desolate to try to stamp themselves into the season 3 books. Let's see if they can push themselves forward today. But I mean, comps have been locked out, and just looking at compositions right here, just who do you think will won out in the draft phase?
If you were to specifically look at the draft phase, I think the engage is slightly in favor of the side of Desolate. Also, the lane control is going to be slightly in their favor with Jace against Ornn. Vladimir, maybe a little bit more power in the early game to the Kassadin. Xayah can push into Varus, though. Should be able to kind of bounce up on any of the tanky supports. It's really going to just kind of depend on that 20 to 30 minute window. I think it's probably going to be kind of chalk early, and then whichever jungler once hits level 6 rounds out their team comps. As we still see some swapping around. Are we going to have Jace in the mid lane? Vladimir top?
It looks like it is going to be Jace in the mid lane right now.
Huh.
And Vladimir top lane. So it is going to be Jace against the Kassadin.
I think that's better in a particular lane jobs. Vladimir and the Kassadin and Jace and the Ornn are both favor Desolate, but even stronger, I think, the Jace and the Kassadin, who now has to build the Zhonya's Hourglass even earlier than she would normally like. Ornn is going to go for the sustained build against Vladimir anyway, but Vladimir should be able to stay away from Ornn, sustain in lane, and it's the sustain lane. And at that point, it kind of matters who affects more. Vladimir's taken Ignite instead of Teleport, but we don't see the runes here, so we could possibly take the rune, let him swap out. To a Teleport.
Quite possibly go through the spellbook.
Yeah, spellbook.
Well, we are almost ready onto the spectator delay right now. Almost ready onto the game. And I mean, do you have any predictions for this game?
I think it's gonna start slow, and then we're gonna get 1 or 2 skirmishes, maybe around Dragon. Maybe if one team has an advantage, maybe they try and sneak in early Baron and go for that. And then things are gonna start getting more and more chaotic. If the split push of Kassadin can control the map, it's going to be a slow, like grinded out win for Yeet. If Kassadin can't split push them and control the map on a macro setting, I think maybe the micro of Jace and Varus combination of the Vladimir Zach might be able to win out more in the AoE team fights if they can get on top of Xayah, of course.
Well, we are almost ready to get back onto the Rift 40 seconds onto the delay. I mean, looking at this one, I do want to see what this bottom lane can bring out for the teams. Alistar, Xayah against a Braum and Varus. Both of them seem pretty aggressive. And also, I did talk to T-Crank today, and he did say that he was just going to, farm it out and then perform out late game. So with the Alistar, maybe potentially going for some peel in lane. I did expect more late game carries coming up from T Crank because that is what he said to me today, that he was going to perform out late game, because we do know that Latukan and Blame My Support have an extremely strong bottom lane presence, and they are extremely good at playing their lane. Well, we are ready and on to the game. Spectator delay is over. We can see which teams have put more skins into their accounts. So let's see who is able to win today.
Interesting that Desolate's taken 3 ignites, so they're definitely going for a team fight, team-oriented 4 and 5s combo versus the ability with the 2 teleports coming out on the side of Yeet Street to split up the map in that variation. Also, I think Yeet has a better engage, but they're kind of all in with the Ornn and Alistar versus the Braum can disengage, Varus's can be engaged or disengaged. Vladimir goes for the Rylai's can get some disengage with the AoE slows in that aspect. It does look like we have the spell book on for Vladimir, so definitely going that way. Be able to change it up to teleport if needed, if it does come down to a split push battle.
Only one spell book coming out on the side of Desolate, so like you said, Vladimir will be able to split push later on in the game with that spell book, switching the ignite to a teleport. But I mean, this will be a very interesting game, and I'm curious to see who will bring it out and win over this game.
The jungles are going to be impactful. Once again, I think the slow start's going to start to the fact that these are not super aggressive junglers pre 4-5. They will definitely look for their opportunities to make ganks and those opportunities, but it's not something that they absolutely just desperately need in their regards compared to like a heavy gank jungler like Jarvan or Lee Sin. But the tankiness in CC comes from is where Power is going to rely. Although Yeet is definitely going to have to rely on Charlie's ability to take out either Varus or Jace in the backline when it comes to team fights in the flanks, and for the Sejuani, Ornn, and Alistar to peel for Xayah in the, keep her alive if the team fights do go lengthy, because that's going to be a lot of different, damage. Jace is all damage, Varus is damage, Vladimir's damage. Not a lot of whole protecting other than Braum of if Varus gets dove into the back by Kassadin.
Well, we are back live onto the Rift, and as you were saying, I do expect both mid laners to be roaming a lot when it hits 6, especially the Kassadin, obviously with the Rift block. And I am a little frozen right now. I'm gonna have to restart this league.
That's fine. We just have people dancing in bushes. We got a fan coming out. No one wants to start off this season with a aggressive invade.
Minions have spawned.
I'm coming back though.
Looks like both junglers are going to be starting on the blue buff here, and that means Zach's going to be looking probably to gank top on one of the solo laners, look that aspect, while Sejuani may try and go down and capitalize on the bot lane. You said that T-Crank wanted to get aggressive early in lane, right?
No, T-Crank wants to not get aggressive.
Not get aggressive, sorry.
He wants to be able to stay even.
Stay even?
He wants to just stay even in this lane and hopefully in the late game come back. Which isn't a bad plan. I mean, a lot of times you just gotta accept that you might not be able to win the lane, especially if other people just outclass you.
Well, we'll see how it particularly goes. Alistar does have a little bit of a heal, depending on how the CC chains get off. Braum's going to be able to get off those stuns, though, with the help of Varus's extra little bit of range. But if Xayah can get her feathers placed right, she may be able to outpush Varus, which may give them a slight advantage in controlling the lane positioning.
I mean, already just a little bit both Blame My Support and the Toucan being able to land those concussive blows onto T-Crank. Just a lot of poke going down. And right here, you already see bottom lane freezing the wave onto T-Crank and Zero Battery right here.
Yeah, freezing the lane is freezing the positioning so they're not, stuck out too far, but that actually helps Yeet as their jungler is on the bottom half of the map. They don't mind being put in a position where they can come out. And the freeze didn't even really help. I mean, 1 CS difference here between the AD carries.
That is not a big difference we can see yet. Decided and XFO just going to be putting down some poke on each other in that top side.
Oh, okay. Vladimir has taken the Spell Thief's Edge, that support item, so he can get the Ghosties later on. Give him that extra little bit of gold in lane. Help with the sustain. He doesn't really need anything, as he doesn't probably expect Ornn to all in him. So the more gold he can get, the faster he can get to his items, the better Vlad can get to that level 11 point. When he gets to level 2 in his ult, absolutely can be devastating.
I also do want to note that both mid laners and also top laner on the side of Yeet Street are super behind right now in CS. Poseidon just caught up a bit, but earlier they were just around like 9 CS behind the enemy laners.
Looks like Ornn jumped right in here, and Alistar's just gonna headbutt the Varus out.
Just gonna headbutt and pulverize each other. The Toucan almost landing all the stacks of the concussive blows onto T-Crank right there. Very nice use of the Braum passive to be able to stun up T-Crank and let him know that every time he gets a CS, there's gonna be a Braum watching over him.
This thing, Poseidon's gone for a mana crystal, spending a lot of his mana on this early abilities to try and just clear out the wave and get it pushed out away from his tower. Vladimir's been just pushing him in constantly.
Yeah, well, they are going to be putting back some trade back up there. Directed cameras got me somewhere else now, but Zero Battery knocks away Blame My Support in pretty cool fashion right there. And also to note right now, we are on 8.2, so supports, they do not have their sight stones up. Meanwhile, as there is a gank coming down, they are going to be headbutting, pulverizing. Blame My Support back. Is the permafrost going to be able to land? Concussive blows is going to be landed onto Tria as well. Here comes Eat My Apples to try to do something else on the side of Desolate right here. Tria is going to come back with the Q and try to do more damage and CC them out. But at the end of the day, no one gets taken down on both teams.
Excellent job on the side of Yeet. Sejuani got there first, took the more direct path there. Zach went over for a ward just as Desolate was starting to push up just a little bit further yet again. And this, I mean, look, flashes burnt on Braum, Varus, and Zach. Heal burnt on Varus as well, compared to just a flash on Alistar. Yeet looking to really take control of the spot lane. And the bottom half of the jungle is Sejuani then got in for a couple of nice wards on that side.
Hopefully, Yeet Street can take that advantage and move on forward, because burnt out summoners don't mean much until you are able to punish them. So hopefully Trie comes back to this bottom lane and is able to just gank it one more time to abuse the fact that these summoners are down. Both mid laners are level 6 right now, so quite possibly they will be coming down. Trie is being here for a gank. Permafrost doesn't land yet. There is the stack. There's the permafrost. That's going to be the flash by Trie, and as well Sandillion right there.
Another gank by the Sejuani has come to fruition here and puts Jace in a rough spot. Is sitting with Tech Tower. Cassidy has got to level 6, only down 10 CS. Not the worst position for her to come back to lane into. Is be able to pick up the catalyst that sustain in lane. Should be able to help push on for the lane. Teleporting back in, not going to miss on really pretty much anything. Zach did get in a little bit more wards, but Zach's going to be taking the second blue buff, whereas Cassidy is picking that up. So we'll see if that makes any difference in mid lane here, now that Jace's flash is down. Maybe a return gank for Trie options in mid lane or bot lane?
Quite possibly. I think now Trie, without the flash, it does put him a bit behind if he wants to go to the bottom lane gank to be able to gap close. But I mean, just a good trade overall, because you do want to take out your laner's flash and potentially come back and gank. Trie is level 5 right now, so he doesn't have the Sejuani ult yet up. He will soon, though. Poseidon right now is going to be level 7, battling it out with XFO back in the top side. Both of them are kind of just on their own. No ganks really going up to the top side yet. But currently looking at the bottom lane, T-Crank and Zero Battery. I'm expecting them to be able to punish these summoners being down. And hopefully they can. And I hope to see Trie come back to that bottom lane soon.
Interesting that, you know, Ornn has been able to keep up with the CS, mostly because Vladimir probably had to back and purchase items, but the Catalyst is going to be able to help sustain in lane up there. Once again, the sustain of this lane is pretty ridiculous aspect of both sides. And the longer this game sustains, the better position I think Kassadin gets in. Even though falling more and more behind in CS against Jace, I think once the towers start to open up and Kassadin gets on the roam, Yeet's going to have the advantage with the double teleports. Although XFO did change his Ignite to teleport, so that Ignite was pretty much wasted in the laning phase.
Well, now XFO does have teleport, so potentially, if they do try to collapse into bottom or something, XFO will be there to rotate quickly. I'm not actually sure, like, how long can you have that spellbook for? Like, how many times can you, like, change that out?
You get charges throughout the game, as Alistar looks like to go in here.
Alistar tries to go in. Glacial Prison is going to land. Here comes the teleport on the side of XFO, but Poseidon is going to knock up XFO to just not let XFO teleport down to the bottom side right here. Again, just Zero Battery is knocking back Blame My Support right here. Both the Toucan and Blame My Support gets rooted up by the Featherstorm coming out from T-Crank. Not the Featherstorm, I mean, the thing that... The cone! The Feather Cones! I don't know what it's called.
Another summoner burnt, trying to protect this bot lane of the Varus Braum right as their summoners come back up just now. So the gank tried to make it there in time, wasn't quite successful other than burning Vladimir's support, and Ornn capitalizing means that he has controlled the lane, forced the Vladimir to back. Gets to spend some extra time getting some CS. Other than that, no real damage dealt to any of the towers for these teams. We're almost at 10 minutes, no kills. Slight gold advantage for Desolate. Mostly that's because of the CS here. You're looking at the mainly the Jace and the Zac in that regards.
You can't milk those.
CS differentials are big in the mid lane, as you said. But I mean, 300 gold or 400 gold is something that you can easily come back from. And I'm quite curious to see, since it is an Infernal Drake, I am quite curious to see what both teams prioritize as the next big thing that they want to get on this map. So will they try to go for this Infernal Drake? Because that is a big thing. If you can get that Infernal Drake early, you do push up your lead a lot, and it gives you a lot of momentum going into the mid game of this game.
But I think the Infernal Drake is more important for Yeet because their top laner doesn't deal as much damage as the enemy top laner, and while the Kassadin is a lot of damage, it's the damage out over time. It's not like the burst damage that Jace can provide. The AD carries are, I guess, you know, tie, as most of them normally do, depending on positioning and what they can hit.
Well, Poseidon is going to be trying to go and attack XFO a little more. They don't really trade anything other than that. I think in this top lane, it is actually really good for Poseidon just to go even compared to the Vladimir, because of the CC that Ornn provides in that middle to late game in this game, and we see Trie coming back for another gank possibly.
Ult is up and ready to go for the Sejuani. We'll see how patient they are down there.
Let's see how long they wait for this one. Well, here it comes. Where's the Glacial Prison? Well, that's going to be the Glacial Fission landed on the other side as well. That's going to be the Permafrost onto the Toucan. Zero Battery has already used the CC up. Here comes the Glacial Prison as well. That's going to be first blood going out on the side of Zero Battery right there. And a very nice play on Yeet Street to be patient and finally take out the first blood member of the Toucan on Desolate.
With pushing in here, no mana left on Varus. We'll see if they go for a tower dive or if they just go for the first brick gold.
Well, Trier's just gonna sweep out the Tri-Brush in the top side area. They do look like they just want to take out this tower, but they are going to be ready for the collapse. Chain of Corruption is not up for the side of Blame My Support. Eat My Apples does his ulti though, so if they do want to have a collapse, it is quite possible, but they are just gonna back off at this point.
Yeah, Sandelian walked over a ward on his way down the bot lane in that bush, river bush there, and Zach stepped on the ward. So very easy for them to, you know, slip on out of there. If Xayah can get to an IE before Varus can get to the item that he's going at, he's sitting in a bad, you know, price point right now. It's going to be really good for this bot lane for Yeet.
We see Desolate and XFO fighting so much, but I don't think there's going to be a solo kill coming in anytime soon. I do think if there is going to be a kill or any action coming up top, both junglers will be, or just at least some jungler will come up. But I mean, Desolate and XFO, let them fight and have their battle right now, but not a big deal, I think.
It's interesting that Kassadin's been able to, you know, stay within 20 CS and get, you know, Rod of Ages instead of even getting the Seeker's Arm Guard against the heavy AD damage coming out on the side of Jace.
Bottom lane fight. Chain of Corruption is going to land onto T-Crank right there. Are the concussive blows going to be landed? The passive wears out a little bit, but that could have been a possible good fight coming in. Here comes Eat My Apples on the other side. I hope T-Crank notices this one, and it looks like they don't notice, but Zero Battery is going to use the Pulverize to knock up Eat My Apples. T-Crank is going to be trying to put down some pain back onto Blame My Support and the Toucan, but at the end of the day, they don't have a fight, and they are able to disengage that gank.
They made the flash burnt on the side of Xayah. With that pressure, they think they have the advantage going in onto this dragon, seeing that as Kassadin is stuck in mid lane. It looks like we're going to have Vladimir teleporting to the bot lane here.
Oh, Trier a little late to steal. He has to waste a flash right there. That's not a good, that's a very misplanned play on the side of Yeet Street right there.
That was an excellent setup for that dragon, making the bot lane have to peel back to their tower. Sejuani wasn't able to come in for the gank, and right as Jace had pushed Kassadin in the tower, couldn't respond to the dragon. Vladimir teleported down to try and cut Yeet off. They had to make a decision to either dive and fight or just give it up. And giving up means they get only half the damage up on that top lane tower, and giving them an Infernal Drake is going to be pretty hard. And it looks like now they've gone for a partial lane swap. Well, they sent Braum to the top anyway. Maybe he's just going to go on a warding mission. Now their next objective might be to try and control the Rift Herald, or he's just going to walk the long way to bot lane.
I think it would be a good idea to send both Braum and Letoucan, or sorry, Letoucan is wrong, but Letoucan and Blame My Support to go to that top side to try to punish and push for that Rift Herald right now. They do have the Infernal Dragon on them, so they do have a 6-minute window to be able to play on the bottom side and know that nothing really else is going to happen. But I mean, here's another gank coming in on the side of Trier. Blame My Support has to use the heal. Concussive Bow and the Glacial Fissure is going to land onto T-Crank. He is super, super low right now. Where is the Permafrost going to come in? And there it is, Zero Battery again. Going to pick up another kill on the side of Yeet Street. And they pick up 2 kills for themselves today.
The ganks again and again by Tyre on this bot lane are going to give him the first brick gold and the control down here. Xayah, up 15 CS. 2 assists to 0, sitting on a completed item. Stop clock, stop watch, stop. I'm gold. Absolutely beautiful in that fight. And now we'll see if they want to do some lane swaps. Is Jace pushed in Kassadin a whole bunch, not actually got a lot done with this tower. Jace should have been able to take this tower by now.
Well, he did not take the tower yet. And it looks like both Zero Battery and T-Crank are roaming up to the top side of the map. XFO and Desolate again. Just going to be fighting a bit. Nothing other than
Braum spot out in the blue side jungle.
Braum is spotted out. He might be in a bit of trouble. Here comes the Ornn ultimate onto XFO. Will they be able to try to get anything else? Letoucan might be in a bit of trouble right here. Zero Battery is being met up, and that's going to be Charlie Smells picking up on another side, another kill onto Letoucan right there. And a very miscalculated play on the side of Letoucan.
Well, I was watching the Braum went for the deep invade, no support, was able to blast cone over the blue buff, but got followed, got collapsed on, hands over a kill. And with the engage up top, Ornn now position this top lane to be, you know, in an excellent spot as Sejuani's going to come up here. They may probably not want to dive this, but the next wave is a cannon wave. So with that cannon wave, they may look to take down yet another tower for Yeet.
Quite possibly. They do look like they actually want to dive. I think this might be bad as they don't know that Eat My Apples and the Toucan is walking up. XFO puts some damage onto Trie, so they know that they are here and that ward has spotted them all out. Are they just going to pressure out this top tower right here? I think they are going to just try. They do look like they might want to jump onto T-Crank. They don't really land any spells. But an interesting rotation coming out for everyone to be this top side. They might... Well, here's... Oh, man, that Shock Blast costed them a lot. They have been spotted, and now they're leaving.
But once again, this Kassadin not getting punished for roam because the Jace was back at base trying to pick up some items. And Kassadin's now just starting to stack up. We have the Ninja Tabai. We have, you know, the Rod of Ages halfway there. And this control of the mid lane means that Jace hasn't been able to impact the game outside the map, and the longer that goes, that means the more chance that Kassadin's pressure outside the center lane is going to be way stronger than Jace's.
It looks like they do want to come right back up to this top side. Eat My Apple's just going to clear a control ward near the river right here. And I think they do really want to prioritize this Rift Herald, because once they get this Rift Herald, once they're able to open up some sort of lane, probably the mid lane, that opens so much up in the map to be able to rotate around. So both teams do want to look to prioritize this Rift Herald as they want to break open something in this map right now, because this is going a bit slow. They do send Charlie and XFO to the bottom lane to fend off for each other. Both of them do have teleports right here, so if there is any sort of fight, they will be able to rotate and come extremely quickly with that teleport.
And Yosidon has teleport as well, so we've got a 1-3-1 set up, maybe splitting, maybe put T-Crank up here in the top to really focus down this top lane and take it down. But once again, Jace pushing another wave of the tower, and not just taking the tower in a slow rotating defense. Jace has, I think, said like 2 or 3 opportunities to actually, if would have tried to push hard, taking this tower, and this could have been that, you know, more of that equalizing gold where they feel like they're the ones being pressed upon instead of being the ones putting the pressure on the Yeet.
I am assuming Charlie Smells will start roaming quickly and try to pick up kills left and right. But I mean, currently, just Yeet Street are in this top side. They do want to look to force something, which isn't a bad idea. Dragon is going to be up in about 5 seconds right here, so they do potentially want to collapse. It is only a Cloud Drake, so I mean, Cloud Drakes are pretty bad. So maybe they don't care.
Well, no one got the Rift Herald. This is now a Baron already. We've reached the 20-minute mark and a 2k gold lead on the side of Yeet, mostly from the tower and the CSing from the AD carry. T-Crank is, you know, 30 CS up. It's pretty in the, you know, the CS gap of 10 to 20 Jace got earlier in the game is pretty much stayed there, and the longer the game goes, the more strength and Kassadin's ability of maneuver versus the bully in lane that Jace had.
Yeah, and I mean, just to see if this Jace can really do anything else. 206 CS to 198 CS on this mid lane right here. Both teams playing it extremely slow, so I mean, Amo, like you said, slow starts coming up in both games, and I'm kind of curious to see when it ramps up and when it starts being more of a bloodbath, because both these teams have a very aggressive composition on their team. So I mean, coming into the mid to late game, we might see more fights, quite possibly, and I do want to see more fights because that's going to be really fun.
Well, Kassadin has 2 minutes left till full stacked Rod of Ages, has finished the Zonias, so basically just needs the Sheen before it becomes a split pushing tower destroyer. And that, I think, is when the game is really gonna start ramping up on the side of Yeet, if they can just split apart with their you know, super roam mid laner, controlling top laner tank with the CC, and just a pretty good wave clear from a AD carry who hasn't been really pressured that much.
Well, Eat My Apples tries to go for a gank in mid lane, but Charlie Smells just riff walks right out of here. Here's gonna be a fight in the top side with both of these AD carries and supports. Blame My Support gets chunked down to about a quarter HP. A nice combo from Zero Battery to set that one up. And they do look to disengage this one, but both Desolate members are here in the top side. So they do know Sandillion is here because he just cleared a control ward in that tri-brush area. And Tree is coming up. So they could look to roam somewhere, but they do back off and they do disengage back to the middle side of the map.
Now the roam top just means Cassidy gets more time to just push the way and stall it out. They knew that the Varus was going to back. He had no reason to stick around because of his health and burnt his ultimate. As Yosaida's actually going to engage down here in the bot lane.
Well, that is going to be the call of the Forge God to be used up there. I mean, pretty interesting name actually, but look at this top side. It looks like there is going to be a fight. Ulti is going to be used on the side of Eat My Apples, but Sandillion doesn't really land. And I think Decided might get taken down by XFO right there. He uses the ulti to engage, but he gets taken down at the end of the day. XFO finally picks himself a kill on the board. Then there might be a fight in this top lane right now, really soon. There it is.
No.
No chance. That's going to be the Glacial Prison to land. Glacial Fissure as well. Both these teams going to be going in. T-Crank gets stunned up by the concussive blows on the backside, and no one is helping him right now. Charlie Smells picks up a kill on a Sandillion right here, and looks like Charlie Smells wants to go on to Blame My Support as well. XFO has used the teleport to come up to the top side right here, and finally, Sandillion picks him, Charlie Smells picks himself a triple kill, and they Yeet Street push themselves ahead of this game right now.
And that should be a free Baron right now for Yeet. Ornn, excellent job. Look at Ornn's items. All armor, still takes Vladimir almost a full minute to kill him in lane and just take it all out. Desolate, feeling desperate, goes for the hard engage up top. Zach missed the full ulti on the enemy team. Cassin able to teleport in, absolutely wrecks house because Sejuani's excellent ult and inability to peel off a Cassidon means that this should be a good Baron for Yeet. As nice headbutt by the Alistar prevents Zach from taking it. Nice job, Yeet.
That is actually a huge play. Being able to use the blast code and not have Eat My Apples use that blast code is a very, very big play for Zero Battery, not allowing Eat My Apples to even potentially have the chance to steal that Baron right there. And Yeet Street have given themselves a Baron, and because of that fight, it has extended this gold lead for themselves. And right now, Yeet Street are at the peak momentum that they want, and they are looking to probably push this game further than they can. So right now, T-Crank, Zero Battery, they go to this mid lane. They probably want to break open this tier 1 tower in the mid side to try to open up the map for themselves.
The power that they should be able to get, they should be able to just mow right down mid lane here, get at least one tower, maybe two. Definitely look at a second one. Cassidon's up in the split push, has the Sheen. I said at 25 minutes, if Yeet had the ability to get into Cassidon to a side lane, they would be in power and position to win this game, and it's looking to be that way.
A slow start coming up from both teams, but Yeet Street has ramped it up a little bit to try to take down this next dragon as well. So they do have a Cloud Dragon. Glacial Prison doesn't really land onto anyone. But I mean, just both Zero Battery T-Crank, Zero Battery, and Shriya are just going to be at the mid side. It looks like they do try to want to potentially push something out right here.
I understand that you're trying to get some pressure here and take this mid lane a tier. Oh no, Xayah gets engaged hard on.
Call of the Forge God is going to be used on the side of Decided right here, and that's going to be an ultimate used as well on the side of Eat My Apples. Decided knocks up 5 members, but they do not look like they can go for more. The damage is gone. T-Crank is down, and Decided says hello to him in the death screen as well. But looking at more in the top area, Zero Battery knocks away Eat My Apples right there, but here comes Desolate to potentially, they are going to take down this tower, and tides have turned. Desolate has made something good for themselves. T-Crank a little caught out right there.
Yeah, he stepped in to take some tower shots, damage on the tower, and excellent job by Blame My Support laying the Varus ultimate down right where he couldn't do anything. Zach engaged in, so Xayah had to pop her ultimate to try and not fall into the the CC chain, and Braum with the excellent, door shield, blocking the Ornn ult from getting even to Ornn, so Ornn couldn't layer his CC in the team fight, meant that it was pretty easy for them to clean up as 5, as Cassidy wasn't able to join over the wall in time to really impact it at all.
Just as momentum swung for Yeet Street, Desolate has picked it back up, but currently it is still a 4k gold lead on the side of Yeet Street right here. I'm quite curious to see where they want to rotate on the map to be able to do something else. So they do send Charlie and XFO to the bottom side of this map. Teleports are up for both of them almost. Charlie Smells a little longer until they get it up, but Charlie Smells is currently 4-0-1. And earlier I did talk to Desolate's, Escapist, and he said the only really big matchup that Desolate is scared of is that Charlie Smells matchup, and he didn't really pop off in the earlier stages of the game, but after that one big team fight, currently 4-0-1, look to see Charlie probably be able to do a lot more work coming into the latter half of this game.
We'll see what they do. The teleport is almost back up for Poseidon, as they're trying to pressure in on this mid lane tower to be their main focus and try and keep this going. Although the tanks keep leaving poor T-Crank by himself, and that's what happened last time when he got caught at the tower.
They have started up a 1-3-1 right here, and they do have a teleport, but let's see if they have a fight here. Glacial Fissure lands onto Zero Battery only. Concussive Blows is on T-Crank as well, so he might get stunned up soon, but here comes Charlie Smells. He is unstoppable. Glacial Prison gets whooped. Call of the Forge God gets used by Poseidon right here, and it looks like Yeet Street are picking up some kills. They do try to take down this tower, and only Trey is currently dead, so it is a 3-for-1 currently, and looks like they will be trying to go for more. That's a 4-for-1 currently. Charlie Smells is dominating to the skies, says Sendillion as he pops his Q off, and he is able to escape from this one. As Yeet Street push out through 4-for-1 currently, as they want to end this game as soon as possible.
Oh my gosh, the Cassidy coming over the wall yet again, able to come in after all the CC on the side of Zach and Braum have been used, and when there's no CC to stop the Cassidy, she's absolutely wrecking house. Charlie Smells 6-0-3, most CS in the game in a matchup that should be particularly harder for the Cassidy to win, has been dominating these skirmishes and team fights, taking Yeet on his back and saying, we're going to the semis.
And I really do love seeing Yeet Street play that 1-3-1 currently. Both solo laners having that teleport up, is you can see that they are using these teleports wisely. They send Poseidon top, they send Charlie Smells bottom, they put T-Crank, Shrey, and Zero Battery in that middle area, and when they do have a fight, they are on point when they use their teleports. They come into the mid side, they take out Desolate, and they are able to push up all 3 lanes together. It is usually really hard to push off a 1-3-1 because it's just, it gets really complicated at times, but just Yeet Street are able to push this together and use that 1-3-1 perfectly, and we see that there with that last team fight.
I mean, going into that team fight, Cassidy was level 16 to that level 12 of Braum. That's a 4-level difference. Just jumps over the wall, one combo. The 2-game was at like half health, completely obliterated. Theirs goes to CC. Zach's burnt everything, his stuff still on cooldown, and then you just jump straight onto the AD carry. Vladimir teleported in late. You talked about the teleports. Cassidy and Ornn walked to that team fight, to that skirmish. They were being proactive. They didn't burn their teleports and show up there. Vladimir, burnt the teleport to come in and try and come in the backside. Absolutely got wrecked because there's no more teammates left to deal out the damage when he got there.
That's even more impressive now because they still have the teleport advantage up. Looking at the mid lane, Shock Blast lands on the T-Crank. That's still a lot of damage on Jace with the Shock Blast with the big gate coming in. So T-Crank has to be a little bit careful. Potentially have Zero Battery and Shriek just body block those shots. But here comes Charlie Smells. Does he want to pick someone off? He's gonna back off right there. Yeet Street knows where the Toucan is. He is in the Baron Pit right now. So fight possibly. They do a rotation to this Infernal Dragon, and Charlie Smells is pressuring up the top side. They do know that they took the Infernal, so are they gonna be able to cut them off right here?
We have a tie with the Infernals now. Means that is not an advantage on the side of Desolate, but here's one of the issues. The Cloud Dragon means the team with the more mobility and that wants to do the more global map pressure is going to get that ability to just roam around a little bit faster, and that gives a ton of advantage to Kassadin in this aspect, who's been able to pick and poke after a couple of Sheen procs here. Is going to absolutely wreck this tier 2 top. Is going to be able to just rift walk out of there.
Sindelian picks up another blue buff for himself, so watch him to spam that shock blast with the accelerated gate. I don't even think that's what it's called. Do you know what it's called, the gate? There's a name for it, but I don't know what it is. But look for him to spam those shock blasts onto potentially catching off T-Crank. Just like 2 of those will take down T-Crank to about a quarter HP. So, I mean, just a lot of poke on the side of Sindelian right here. So hopefully he can be able to step it up. Zero Battery gets the Q landed on him by Latukan right here. So right now, Yeet Street about 9k gold up. Charlie Smells is in the top side. They are swinging with momentum right here, and they're controlling the map. And just right after like 20 minutes into this game, they have controlled the macro movements of every portion in this map, just not letting Desolate move anywhere, being proactive, and just being the team to really set the stage today in our first game of playoffs.
T-Crank's picked up the red buff and looks to just walk around and get some lifesteal going on the jungle camps. Isn't even taking them, just letting someone else come in and pick him on up if needed. And it looks like there's our first Ornn upgraded item. Looks Sejuani has picked up the the Iron Solari upgrade, so definitely we'll see how much impact that will play with the shield aspect. As missed Varus ult.
Chain of Corruption doesn't land with a tree right there, but if it did, that could have been a potential catch right here. He is going to meet up with Blame My Support. That is going to be the Permafrost as well. And this might be a big fight right here. Charlie Smells is going to come in. Glacial Prison is going to land onto Latukan right here. Glacial Fissure as well on the 2 members of Yeet Street right here as the ultimate used well from Ornn. Call of the Forge God. Doesn't really land onto anyone big right there, but that's going to be a double kill coming in on the side of Charlie Smells. And that's going to be a 3-4-0 currently as Latukan and Blame My Support are hemorrhaging out. Here comes the Rift Rock from Charlie Smells. That's going to be a flash. That's going to be Charlie Smells being legendary. And it looks like Yeet Street are trying to push themselves to a Game 1 victory.
No defense, 35 minutes. That's a surrender actually coming out on the side of Desolate. They want to get straight to Game 2, it seems. They don't want to sit through the final minute here to watch their base fall into pieces. As a 9-0-4 Kassadin and a 2-1-11 Xayah absolutely run rampage through the skirmishes in the mid and to the late game, and Yeet coming out with the victory.
And looking at Game 1, Yeet Street able to control the macro movements of this map currently. You did say they would start off slow, but right as they let loose, they have gone crazy. Yeet Street knowing how to play the macro movements and just rotating around the game has shown us that they prepared well, that they know that their team communication is on point, and that they will not let anything slow them down. And looking to Game 2, Amo, what do you think that Desolate has to do to just try to claw their way back after that loss?
Well, in the first matchup here, they went for winning lane matchups in the aspect of the Vladimir and the Jace. Maybe they think that I guess they picked the Varus first, and they took the Braum in response. But Braum is the defending support, and yet took Ignite. Then they started off the game with 3 Ignites in the game. If you're going to be that aggressive with your laners in that aspect, you need someone to actually get off ganks early, other than someone like Zach. I understand Zach's tankiness, CC, long range engage is all really impactful, but didn't make an impact as T-Ray on the Sejuani was the person getting off the first actual gank to burn all the summoners, then got off another gank to burn some summoners, and did a repeat gank to actually get first blood. And once, the slow build-up that Kassadin kind of needed, no pressure, Zidane and the Ornn just, stood up in top lane and played with minions. There was no kill pressure on them. They weren't pressed upon in lanes that they should have been being pressed upon. And they didn't fear for their lives. As we said, we went to over 10 minutes with no kills, no towers, no dragons. And with Desolate being slightly up in gold, but only, like you said, 300 or 400, that wasn't enough point to when it came to the mid game. Kassadin got that Rod of Ages stacking, got into the Zonias, the ability of the repeated ganks by Sejuani bot lane to get the first tower. They did give up the dragon, but they gave up the dragon, they got control of the lanes. The inability to pressure the lanes to get objectives in that regard put Desolate slightly behind in lanes where they should have been the ones pushing to get those objectives first. And without that early lead, Jace kind of falls off as Kassadin wrecks through your team.
Yes, and I mean, just being able, Desolate just in the early game, they were leading up in CS, but they were playing matchups that they should have been, I wouldn't say destroying, but they were playing matchups that should have been decisively winning. Bottom lane, the Toucan and Blame My Support should have been trying to be a little more aggressive, potentially. They did have some glimmer of hope in that bottom lane, but looking at the mid side as well, Jace should be able to, especially as a ranged against a melee matchup, should be able to bully out the Kassadin early levels. And in the top side as well, just they should be winning out these lanes and then translating that into the later stage of the game. But they couldn't do that, and just being able to let Yeet Street go even in these lanes, just having a little slight differentials, maybe like a few hundred gold, it didn't slow down Yeet Street. So for the future games, hopefully, if they pick up these matchups again where they have winning lane matchups, if they can be able to just win these early game skirmishes, I want to see them win it harder and just try to be more proactive in that early game. Because if you let Yeet Street play their game, if you let Yeet Street go even in the first 15 minutes again, they're going to ramp up and destroy you and face roll you because of how strong their macro movement was in the latter half of the game.
Look at Ornn in a matchup where he goes against someone with Ignite, and Vladimir should be able to get a CS advantage, and depending on how the rest of the map goes, teleport plays and such, should get an advantage. Is able to go for Ninja Tabi and Randuin's while in laning phase against the Vladimir after he got his adaptive helm. So he did get an MR item first, but then he went straight to 2 armor items, and he was in maybe 1 fight or skirmish against the Jace and Varus before he had bought those. He did die because he went so heavy in the armor, but as Vladimir got that kill in bot lane, what happened to the top half of the map? Desolate, needing to press the advantage, overextended. And when they overextended, Kassadin came up and got like a triple kill and just wiped the floor up there.
So game 2, I'm going to let you actually hop on to this champion select as you did it last time, so you can go on.
Oh, you sure? I was going to do it again, so okay.
No worries. But I mean, just, hey, hopefully that Desolate doesn't have the bad mindset going back into this game, because just they did a good job in the early stages. Obviously, they should have done more, but just hopefully they can just ramp it up and be able to push this to a game 3, because that was an interesting game, and I actually really, really enjoyed watching that game, as they have just Yeet Street just showing us that even though they were not in the top of the regular season, coming into playoffs, they take it extremely seriously. I don't know what they do with their I don't know how they just practice, but I mean, just you can see that just coming from last season to this season, just that cohesive unit that they have is a really strong and a good team.
Yeah, Desolate had some advantages, and they were starting to take pressure of it. I think if Sandilian slightly focused more on just getting that mid lane tower down and out, like maybe 3 minutes earlier, and then allowing the Jace to get off into a split push, or looking to take objectives that way instead of every time they tried to do something as a group, we're still the one down towers, and with that regards, they're just kind of playing not from the best position, but they did win a couple of skirmishes early on. That one team fight in mid lane where they caught T-Crank overextended was an awesome job on their end. And after that, they were able to get 1 tower, and it looked like they had a chance to reset the game and come back at it at a even footing, and they had a chance then to go the other way. They just didn't. As you said, Yeet pulled it out.
They sure did. And game 2 is going to be coming up soon. So we have a lot of people back here on the Twitch channel, a lot more than usual.
Well, it's the playoffs, man.
It is the playoffs, and you know what? Do you actually have someone that you want to see move forward in the playoffs? Like, do you have your team that you think is going to win? Oh,
jeez. I want to see some just straight up good matches. I want to see competitiveness. I know last year doing the finals, Yeet like 3-0'd them to the point where I think the enemy team like FF'd like 2 of the 3 games. I don't want to see that. Like this game, I understand that Desolate ended it early, but they ended it like a minute early because they had their support left alive, or Braum I guess died in the base. I'm not exactly sure who was still left up on the side of Desolate, but they're losing both their towers and inhibitor in the next 30 seconds anyway. So that type of competition is what I'm looking for.
Cool. I mean, 1-0 on the side of Yeet Street. I'm excited for this next game. I want to see if Yeet Street is able to play their macro game again, or I think if Desolate is able to just play to their lanes. I mean, win conditions, just Yeet Street has to do what they just did last game. Just go even. They don't even have to win. What's your win condition for Desolate next game?
Well, it depends on the champions they pick. As we kind of touched on, they picked some champions that wanted to be kind of aggressive and control the laning phase in their favor. And while they slightly did that with CS, that didn't amount to any objectives other than a dragon, and they had to invest basically a bot lane summoner, both ultimates, Zac coming in, and a teleport from their top laner to get the dragon. And they just invested too much in that. If they maybe go with the same style and just pick slightly different champions, if that's what they're more comfortable with, or maybe if they want to pick scaling champions. I know Yeet likes to play the scale 'em ups, if you want to put it that way. So maybe you don't want to play into Yeet's hand and play an extended long game. It depends on how they want to go about it.
I want to see more winning matchups on the side of Desolate, just able to win based off of lane pressure and have those lanes just snowball out and potentially not let Yeet Street come back from their superior macro play.
Well,
stronger things.
I mean, Yeet's macro play was good, but it wasn't like extremely great. They set themselves up for success by being in the general vicinity of where they wanted. They kind of hit a wall there when they were trying to set up the 1-3-1 a couple of times and not getting that middle tower down appropriately, and that turned into the T crank got caught, and then another time he almost got caught and taken out, except for the fact that Charlie came over the wall on Kassadin and like 2-shot the support. That's the reason why they won the fight, is because he came in and blew up the CC bot. So
did they even win that fight?
The second time they did.
The second time they did, but the one where T Crank got caught, they did not. That was
the
part where they were where you had Desolate potentially clawing their way back, but
they don't want to be in a position to claw their way back. They want to be ahead.
For sure. Hey, how long is this gonna take? Is Desolate's probably like running through? I'm hoping that their coach right now is just spanking them in shape. It's like, oh, you guys did a really bad job. Do you ever imagine these chats that they have, especially when you're like LCS players, like after they finish their best of one or their one game, they go into their second game and just like all their coaches just slapping them in the butt and just like getting them ready for the next one?
Well, I mean, sometimes it could be just like the little example that very first gank that blew all the summoner's bot lane, which set up T-Ray for success, was the fact that he went straight to the gank. Zac went and did a 2 ward placement beforehand in that setting, And that's why Sejuani got there first. That's why it was so successful. Little things like that can sometimes make a huge difference for the next 3 to 5 minutes in how you play the game, and it allowed Sejuani to do gank mid. And like sometimes that little snowball just starts rolling, and you're just like, okay, if we would have done this differently, it would have been a whole nother ball game. But as we see, we're in the picks and bans. It looks like we still have the Rise Viger coming out on the side of Desolate, targeted Charlie and Zero. And Tarek Fiora coming out on the side of Yeet, along with the Echo. So same bans for Yeet. Alistar is that third and final ban, though, for Desolate, as they're the ones that pick up Sejuani.
They don't want Zero Battery to play that Alistar, and they are still just focusing down Charlie Smells. Just they don't really want Charlie to be able to pop off on any big champions. So,
Well, apparently Yeet says we don't care, and blind picks Azir and locks in the Nunu. Nunu doesn't want Sejuani to play jungle today.
Nunu was buffed and then hot fixed in the morning. I did see one of those graphs. I think Freak tweeted it out earlier. One of those graphs. I didn't actually read into it. I think they like hot fixed the Q. If I'm maybe wrong,
it was the Q. Some damage on it. He's still gonna do Nunu things.
Yeah. I am happy to see the Nunu. I mean, Nunu has been out of flavor for so long.
Yeah, but here's the kicker. Nunu can Blood Boil Azir and buff Azir's attack speed. Just like he could Blood Boil an AD carry, which increases Azir's damage.
That is... I didn't know that, but that is going to be something big.
So you could get... So Nunu has 2 champions now that he can Blood Boil. This is something you can do with... in solo queue or duo queue. If you just take Nunu and go with like a Tryndamere top lane and just Blood Boil a Tryndamere and just...
I know I'm a little slow, but that's a Heimer hover.
Yeah, it's... Oh, well... Okay, they're gonna go with the Braum. So, a lot of slows
no way they
coming out.
Do this, though.
Yeah, it's Braum. Malzahar didn't make it through for Sandilian against the...
Well, they do...
Flash?
Yeah, what's up? Was that a Discord? That was a Discord bug.
Okay, I was like, you started and you disappeared.
No, that was Discord, not me. Everything else is good. Yeah, like I saw a Heimer hover. I know I'm a bit late, but I knew that wasn't going to be something. But that would be really interesting to play that Heimerdinger.
It would have been on that end. But we get Pixman Janna coming out for the disengaged, Zaya ban coming out against T-Crank, knowing that they don't have to spend any more bans on Charlie. What do you think Joe Siden's going to put into the Ornn?
I don't expect Poseidon to pick something that's going to be a huge winning matchup. Probably something just that stays even, just like last game. I don't think Poseidon is the strongest top laner in the league right now, so because of that, I do assume that he's gonna just play something that kind of just goes even and is able to just go even in CS. I don't expect top lane to be a winning matchup in any of these Yeet Street games, to be honest.
Probably picks up Maokai.
You know, honestly, that would be a good pick because you go even, you don't really do... It's more for the late game. And because of Yeet Street's playstyle, it's not a bad thing to actually pick up that Maokai. But I mean, looking at the last 2 bans, Janna and Nami, Letukan is incredible on the Nami. So banning out the Nami is a big deal for Letukan because I think honestly Letukan is like one of the best supports in the league right now.
Now T-Crank picking up the Varus, gonna try and do the Varus Braum lane disrespect coming out on the side of Yeet, running their bot lane back at him.
Here comes the Kog'Maw. This is both AD carries trying to be hyper carries right here. So Varus and Braum. And I'm curious to see what support they pick out. I am a little behind.
Yeah, they're taking it down to the final seconds here. As Irelia. No, Camille.
You're trolling me.
No, they picked Camille. That is not one of their approved swapping. So are they going to go Ornn support with the Kog'Maw?
So do they not have what's up with the placeholders now?
placeholders have to be Tryndamere. There's like Garen or someone else because they weren't picked during the regular season. So, thanks,
Okay.
Garen Timo.
Tryndamere, Garen. That is, I'm curious
Shen.
about.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Garen, Tryndamere, and Timo were to be the placeholders. So this is going to be a Camille. It's going to go top lane, and Yosidon can pick any champion, and Camille goes for the Shen. Is like, F it, I don't care about my lane. My job is to protect my carries. He can ult Azir, he can ult Varus. Brahm's a great peeler. Nunu
Wow.
could be a great peeler. They're going to have 3 tanky peelers in front of an attack sped buffed Azir or an attack sped buffed Varus with the help of Nunu, and they should be able to shred through these tanks. They're a lot more of a 4 and grouped with 5 with the Shen ult coming in versus the split pushing that Desolate's going to pull out in this game with the Camille off in a side lane. The ults from the supports, both knockups, disengagers, laying a lot of CC down. Latucan going back with the Ignite again, where Zero Battery keeping up with the I guess the Warden, or that's what the subclass is that Riot's come out with.
So that is, I'm so curious about this team comp right now. Just, they do really want to protect this comp one, but we were talking about the Ornn and Decided matchup, how probably just gonna pick someone that's gonna make him go even. There's the Shen. We're not gonna expect Shen to win lane against Camille, so hopefully XF Folk can destroy Decided in the top lane, because that is extremely, extremely interesting what they have picked out.
Shen and Camille is a very interesting matchup. I have preferential that Shen can deal with the Camille enough. It just depends on how much you get poked down before she engages in on you with the W. Is enough to just sort of hold his own in the lane. And it's Shen's goal is just basically keep Camille far enough away from the towers that Shen can ult in and help with the rest of the team in the skirmishes before Camille can use the jump in her E.
So Ornn did go exhaust at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, it switched in double heals.
That is
Cleanse
That is
coming out
interesting.
instead of
I'm interested to see why they picked up this Ornn. Maybe it's something that they have in their back pocket. It does provide a lot of CC when they hit 6. I mean, even in lane it provides a lot of CC. So, if it works out, I would have Latucan to be the one to make it work. So, I hope they can run this one, but it is extremely interesting against the Varus Braum. I mean, at least they didn't pull out like a Xayah Alistar, right? Have a mirror match of enemy team comps.
Yeah, well, they took the Ornn away from Yosidon in that second round, so in that aspect it was good. But they had to show their hand on who their top laner was going to be because of the pick rotation, so Yosidon knew what he was going to be picking into. But there's like no engage other than Varus ult on the side of Yeet, which is kind of the problem. Well, I guess Desolate last game had Zac to help engage. So they had 2 engages, whereas Yeet this game only has the Varus ult. So they start falling further behind, and they're the ones that have to make an aggressive engage. It might be pretty hard to get in on. Now you have to poke off the Malzahar passive. You have to get past Sejuani onto Malzahar and Kog'Maw, and worry about Camille diving onto your back line. Kog'Maw and Malzahar and Sejuani are going to be pretty easy just to set the wall up in front of them and just play front to back. They don't have a problem with that.
Well, we are onto the game right here. Game 1 has went to the side of Yeet Street. They showed that in the early stage of the game, they are not afraid to be able to go even and then bringing themselves up to the later stage of the game. Desolate, I do hope they can make it farther, and I hope that they can just destroy their lanes this time. I mean, I don't think the Azir and the Malzahar is going to be like, I don't think Malzahar is going to win the lane. I do think Charlie is going to win the lane in the mid part of the game, but the only like big X factor for me is this bottom lane. Just how does Ornn and Kog'Maw go against a Braum and a Varus? Just because it's so unconventional.
Well, it's unconventional enough, but once Ornn gets a couple of levels, Braum's not a support that wants to capitalize level. Braum can capitalize level 1, but has to put himself in a rough position. So, getting further in as level 1, there's no way to get like out as Braum. You're much more of a better of a peeler support than an engager support. The flash ult is just not exactly what you want out of Braum to start a fight. It can work in the skirmishes early, but Ornn's ability to engage from further distance and ability with the knock up, as well as the shield and applying the brittle if necessary, means that the aggressiveness should be on the side of Ornn, depending on obviously how the minions lay up.
Well, as you said earlier, game 1 has went to the side of Yeet Street, so we're gonna see if they can pull it off to a game 3 right here. Desolate and Yeet Street are on to the Rift. This is quarterfinals, so whoever wins this game moves up to the semifinals of playoffs. We are into season 3 playoffs, but just looking at right now, I do want to see them pull it off to a game 3. I want to see more League of Legends. I want to see a bloodbath, obviously. Just have it more interesting, have it fun. But we are on to the Rift. We are ready and locked and loaded to see Yeet Street against Desolate.
Yeah, you know how last game I said it was going to start slow, and then at like the 20 to 25 minute mark is going to ramp way up? I think it's going to happen again.
Yeah. But I don't think Desolate wants that to happen again.
Nunu went for the fleet footwork,
30 seconds until minions spawn.
and Sejuani went for press the attack. Both the junglers needing that attack speed now that they changed kind of how the... oh no. Are we going to get the Desolate Eat My Apples DC game?
I just realized last game there were no pauses. Every time I cast with T-Crank, there are a lot of pauses. So I think T-Crank is actually the bad luck to these pauses.
No. I'm pretty sure I watched a game earlier this season where Eat My Apples was playing, and he DC'd like 4 times.
I think I casted that game. He was playing Gragas. Eat My Apples left every 5 seconds. He comes back and leaves.
I really don't want that to be the case here. I want to see a 5v5. I want to see what they can, do face each other.
Well, he is back on. Also, something to note are all the stopwatches on the side of Desolate right now. 4 stopwatches for them, except for Camille. So, and only 2 on the side of Yeet Street right now. Only Poseidon and T-Crank. So hopefully they can use that advantage and
well, stopwatches don't matter until 6 minutes.
That is true.
Not that these junglers are going to be doing a whole lot of super hard ganks pre 6 minutes.
I mean, maybe in my apples, obviously Sejuani is going to have better gank pressure than Trier will be.
The new drive-by snowballs, it's so strong.
You know what I do want to see, though? I do want to see Nunu just hide in a bush and just pop the ulti like the old days, right? That's one of the things I miss about the Nunu. Just being able to stand in a bush, press that R, and have people jump on you. I miss that Nunu, I'll be honest. Just those old school, what is that? The old Moscow
Empire.
5 Empire, when who played that? Diamond Prox?
Yeah,
Karthus.
That was cheesy. Karthus, Nunu in a bush.
Man, I miss those cheese days, just when they build 5 GAs and you just try to kill them and then they're all back alive again. Like, what's the cheese of today? Get 5 Zero portals, put it down mid, and then go back, sell that item?
Yeah, well, the junglers are starting on blue buffs, which means that, once again, red side jungler going to be on the top half of the map at 3 minutes, and blue side jungler is going to be in the bottom half.
Yeah, quite possibly Trier throws that level 3 drive-by snowball at 3 minutes into their game. Who knows? But right.
Fleet footwork heals. So much fun in bot lane.
Man, At least they're not running Relic Shield anymore. That's what I'm happy about.
Nope, just Doran Shield.
Doran Shield on the side of Blame My Support. Just the sustain game right here. Well, Poseidon and XFO are going to be fighting. Poseidon does have the level advantage, hit level 2 way before, oh, not way before, but just before XFO right there. So be able to poke out. Currently, Nunu does take up the red buff, so I'm watching this drive-by snowball. Waiting for it. Here it comes. Watch that top side.
Let's see.
Let's
Can
see.
Poseidon land the taunt? He does!
He does land the taunt, and there's the snowball coming in. Drive by snowball, XFO! First blood goes down to Poseidon.
Hey, oh, you ganked the champion that doesn't have the stopwatch. That's how you beat it, right? Okay.
Exactly, that's how you beat it, but there's going to be a mirror down in the bottom side right here. Concussive blows is going to be landed onto Eat My Apples right there. Zero battery. Might be in a bit of trouble. Has to flash out of that one, so, not as good as a gank in the bottom side, but, they tried.
Oh. Well, all the summoners burnt except for Exhaust on the side of Zero Battery as Charlie took a huge chunk out of Sandillion in mid lane. He's sitting there at like 10 to 15% health and mana right now and just pushing in the lane. Only one pot used on the side of Azir. He's going to crash 2 waves in here to this tower. This is going to be absolutely brutal for this Malzahar in mid lane.
I just think it's actually really funny how he said Nunu was gonna do nothing, but I mean, you chain that CC up with the red buff. I mean, you blood boil yourself, you put down those auto attacks, and you are slowing down the enemy laner like crazy right there. But that is so funny to see that the drive-by snowball did work, and in fact, we are horrible casters because we didn't expect it to happen.
Well, the Camille didn't get the advantage at level 2 in lane against Shen because she helped leash the jungle. That means that she didn't get to level 3 when Shen engaged, so she didn't have her wall jump escape ropes to try and get out of that. She had the burn flash. Like, all of those things are crazy. Those are the little things that set up that play.
There's also something to note that in this middle lane, Sandillion behind in CS, playing that Malzahar against the Azir. I do want to re-note that I think Azir was blind picked into this matchup.
First pick.
Was first pick, so I mean Sandillion had an opportunity to not play this matchup, but he chose to, and XFO and Poseidon are going to be fighting. How is X... Oh, well, look at that wave, that is why. Well, XFO is actually ahead in the experience right now, so good on him.
Yeah, Poseidon backed and didn't use his teleport to get back to lane. The reason why he's going to be down in experience and gold right now at the moment is looks like we're going to have a gank down in bot lane.
Eat My Apples just really wants to try his best to do some work in this bottom side. 2 ganks coming out when it's only 5 minutes into this game. So, I mean, just putting the pressure down in this bottom side, but T-Crank just going to be farming it out. He's a little behind in CS, but not a really big deal right here. Poseidon has caught himself back up to CS, up ahead in CS currently, 33 to 27. And everyone throughout the whole game, top to bottom, pretty similar in these gold or the CS differentials.
It's really the experience differential that's going to pay. Is Poseidon's actually shorts the taunt there. XFO gets in a nice trade, return damage. Sejuani back on the top half of the map as Nunu's going to be in the bottom half. Now Nunu can just go straight, is level 5, can solo Dragon if he so pleases. As the bot lane is going to back off. He's placing some nice deep wards here. We'll see if he goes in for anything else. Jeez, Charlie really getting some pressure in onto Sandillion in mid lane. There he goes. 630 Dragon.
Well, he is going to take down this Dragon. Braum is going to help him out right there. Poseidon and XFO just putting down some damage back and forth right here, and here comes the, what is that thing called, the nether grass to be landed onto Charlie Smells. Here comes Eat My Apples as well to try to do more damage, but Tree and Zero Battery are here to try to make it happen. Eat My Apples is only level 5 right now, does not have the Glacial Prison up, but a very nice rotation to help out the side of Charlie Smells right there.
Charlie Smell saw that Eat My Apples was only level 5, didn't even burn Flash or Cleanse, and is just like, screw, like that's ridiculous. On fact, it stays up. Now burns the Cleanse on the repaint gank. As Shen ult's gonna come out, keep T-Ray alive, as it looks like we had to engage up top, but top laner. XFO prevented that from going in. Sorry,
No worries.
took that from me as I was trying to.
Take some of that. Take some of that. I know you.
Yeah,
I know you're wanting to take some of these.
It was impressive the fact that Charlie didn't burn Flash or Cleanse on the initial gank.
But he did burn Cleanse out in this gank.
On the repeat gank because he got cocky and he just didn't back off from lane.
Well, now that Charlie Smells is back off, they are going to reset a bit and go back to this middle lane. So a really nice Ocean Dragon picked up early by Yeet Street. That is going to help them up by replenishing their HP. So a lot of sustain, sustain for their lane. So I mean, this is what Yeet Street wants. Just be able to go slowly, take down the sustain, be able to push themselves up further and further into this game and slowly bring themselves to this lead. So a really good job by Yeet Street to be able to play this map, be able to do work for their team, and just have a lot of presence, global presence, even though they don't have a lot of kills in this game right now.
Well, the Shen ult was used. It's on a long cooldown, so we'll see what if they can do anything for Desolate before that Shen ult comes back up. Other than that, Nunu's starting to do Nunu things. Run around, become a menace.
Run around and become a menace. Well, right now, Eat My Apples is just going to be on this blue side, pick up this blue buff. And currently, for Desolate, we talked about it earlier. We said it was going to be slow, but I did say I don't want to see Desolate play these slow games out. I do think Desolate has to be coming out a little stronger in these lanes. I think XFO, knowing that XFO needs to put a little more pressure onto Poseidon and be able to do more work. But currently, really good job from Yeet Street right now. Just T-Crank ahead in CS a lot, so that goal differential is going to really help him out going into this game.
The goal differential has been impactful, but he hasn't back to buy yet. So currently, Kog'Maw sitting with the advantage. Sejuani has made some ganks down here, but that didn't become anything. Now that all the summoners back up on the side of Yeet, and it just seems like T-Ray's been in the right spot at the right time. The drive-by up top, when Sejuani went bot, T-Ray went, or when Sejuani went top, T-Ray went bot, got the dragons, placed a lot of vision down for his team. This is allowing, a much easier time for this bot lane for T-Crank and Zero Battery to keep their positioning and keep that CS lead that we just talked about. Although Sejuani may be looking for a backdoor gank here.
Trying to look for something right here. Eat My Apples. I hope he doesn't DC halfway though, but T-Crank is going to be pathing up to the top side. Gonna try to have that, one of those cones to spot out some vision, but meanwhile on the top side, Poseidon and XFO are going to be fighting out. Is Poseidon going to actually win this battle? No, XFO has to use the flash right there. But a very nice poke coming, a lot of poke coming in on the side of Poseidon to be able to just put down the pain on this XFO.
Yeah, Nunu at level 6 sold Rift Herald and didn't take any damage. That's dumb.
Here comes Nunu again, right?
Yeah, Nunu, objectives 2, Desolate, objective 0 right now.
Well, there might be another fight. Here comes the call of the Forge God. That is going to be a 2-man knockup. That is going to be the heal used by Blame My Support as well. Glacial Fish is going to land onto 2 members, and this might be T-Crank picking up a kill. He did pick up a kill, and that was pretty interesting coming on the side of the Toucan right there. A little low.
Yeah. He went in for the hard engage, and jeez, those arrows just popped. The Blythe, the Quiver gets popped by the hail of arrows on the side, and that true damage just absolutely shredded his health. Not that tanky yet on the side of Ornn, and Kog'Maw not able to put out the damage to, keep up with T-Crank. Looks like, like Toucan was not on the same page as Blame My Support. Which he's probably saying in chat right now, I'm blaming my support for that one. There's a bad joke there somewhere.
I think it was it was a little too, it was too obvious of a joke, you know. Not a bad one, but I think maybe Blame My Support might be raging in his chat, being like, well, Latukan messed up right there. But meanwhile, XFO and Poseidon again, just gonna be fighting up a bit. Nothing coming up from there, but here comes Sejuani. That is gonna be the Stan United going on the side of T-Crank, but T-Crank gets taken down at the end of the day. Stan United doesn't really mean much. Zero Battery might be the next target. Permafrost is going to land on him as well. The Toucan is going to be trying to go in. Where's the Living Artillery? Is going to be shot down. Absolute Zero is going to be used by Trie. That's going to be a flash by the Toucan, and Blame My Support picks up a kill right there.
That's T-Crank and Zero Battery getting cocky and overconfident in the 2v1, knowing that they killed the enemy support and not respecting the fact that the jungler can show up.
Very, very true right there, but XFO on the top side might be in a bit of trouble. He does have to dash away out of that one. And that is... And T-Crank did have an early lead on this side, on their bot lane, but I mean, that really swings it back in favor to the side of Desolate's bot lane. They pick up another dragon. That is a Cloud Dragon, so they will have movement speed for themselves locked in. And I mean, just the miscalculation coming in on the side of T-Crank and Zero Battery loses them a dragon. So just don't be cocky in games, right?
Yeah, especially when you have Nunu, who could have had control of the second dragon. Definitely something that Yeet should have been looking to really push their advantage for. Malzahar's actually caught up with the Azir in mid lane. We haven't touched base on this matchup yet. Charlie was way out ahead, poking out Sandilian early, but it looks like the wave clear for Malzahar is finally caught up, and that means that is Nunu gonna... Here comes the Rift Herald. Malzahar just back. This is gonna be first brick over to Yeet.
For sure, this is going to open up their map. They do have to rotate up, and it looks like they are all coming to this top side. Pushes down this tower. Eat My Apples is coming in. Try to do more work. But they don't actually take down this tower yet.
Wow. Excellent defense on the side of Desolate. I figured that they would have to give up a lot more, maybe the tower, or burn all of their, damage to prevent that from going down. But the Sejuani was able to take it out.
And the Sejuani, I thought, might be caught out there, but just a really nice calculated play to just be able to take out that Rift Herald and not be able to open up the map with the first tier tower in the mid lane right there. But it looks like they are going to be rotating down to this bottom area. Glacial Prison lands, but they do use the Blast Gun to get out of there.
Now that, Nasher's finished off by the side of Azir. We'll see how much damage goes in. It's top lane. It's getting very violent.
It's been pretty violent throughout the whole game. I mean, XFO and Poseidon are just trading back and forth. And another taunt is going to be landed. XFO just dashes right out of there. But here comes
Snowball.
Drive-by Snowball. Where's the Absolute Zero going to come out? There's the Hextech Ultimatum as well. And Nunu ulti picks up the kill.
I don't even think he snowballed. I think he just ulted.
I think he did in the beginning. I think he did.
No, because Camille dodged it with her ult.
Okay.
So, are they going to be able to get the first brick? I think they will. So Yeet going to take the first tower up in top lane. Good job for Yeet on that. The Nunu Shen combo, getting 2 kills up top. Not what I was expecting going into this game. I thought Camille would have the slight advantage. I did, think Shen could, hold his own in that aspect, but held his own enough. The fact that Nunu being the difference maker, really strong on the side of Yeet.
Well, Nunu recently being buffed at 8.2 and then getting hot fakes right away, so I mean, hey. Good job on the side of this Nunu being able to put 2 kills onto the side of Poseidon right here. So potentially see that to be a big play coming up. And Sandilian and Charlie just going to be farming back up this middle area again. I'm quite curious to see what the next big play is going to be.
Well, Baron's not for 5 minutes. I don't think any team's going to be particularly strong enough to take that down just yet, as they're not going to be having the threshold of the 2 items here to get it on spawn. It depends on where the junglers go. Interesting that Sejuani has gone straight ahead for the stone plate here. Didn't even finish like the the Cinder Hulk item, the help for any real damage. Going for straight tanking, no health. Interesting to go for the resistances before you want the health. Usually want a little bit of health first before the resistances, before they to make the largest amount of impact, but possibly all right into T-Crank.
Right into T-Crank. That is T-Crank is able to escape from this one. That's going to be the Glacial Fission to land onto 2 members. Here's the call of the Forge God coming in as well. They are going to land it up. Blame My Support is on a killing spree. The Nethergrass is going to land onto Trie. And only T-Crank escapes from that one.
And that's just having the better CC coming out from your support and jungler, taking out the kills pretty easily here for the side of Yeet, or the Yeet players being taken out, sorry, by the Desolate team with the stronger CC. And that allows for a, tower in the bot lane.
Tower goes down to the side of Desolate right there, and right now Desolate has been doing a lot better than they have the first game. They are still down in gold, but they are ahead in kills, so that is gonna be a very good mental boost for themselves. So going into the latter half of this game, going into this mid game, hope to see that Desolate is able to make some proactive plays and be able to rotate around the map properly and just well.
I want to see what exactly how this builds up here, because Kog'Maw doesn't have anyone jumping in onto Kog'Maw, other than maybe some soldiers coming out on the side of Azir. Whereas T-Crank has Sejuani, Ornn, Camille as a dive group here. And with, the dive teams here are definitely in favor of Desolate. And if no one gets on the Kog'Maw, it's gonna be a bad time.
Well, the dragon is going to be spawning. It looks like that is going to be an ocean dragon, and T-Crank and friends are going to be just taking this down. They do have a Nunu, so it is going to be a gobble fest, and he's just going to press Q a lot and just take that down quickly.
Shen has walked down here for this instead of using ult or teleport, which were available, as Malzahar gave it all up, went to top lane. This would be a 5-man in mid lane here. We'll see if we get an ult out. Nope. But Desolate's not in a position to save this mid lane tower with Malzahar on top.
Yeah, I don't know if sending down Poseidon that early to pick up this... They would have gotten this tower already. Sending Poseidon all the way down puts Sandillion up in the top lane, being able to just put so much pressure down into that lane and be able to take down that tower right there as a fight is about to break out right here. The Toucan and friends, are they going to be able to get more? Sandillion's going to be trying, or Sandillion's not even there. Well, here comes the Standing United on Charlie Smells. That's going to be the absolute zero on the backside as well. Eat My Apples is going to be in the middle of all this. Where is the concussive blows going to land? There it is. Finally, concussive blows lands. And Yeet Street have picked themselves up 2 kills currently in this game, or in this fight.
And that's the power of Azir Nunu, absolutely wrecking that team fight. Excellent job by Charlie. He cleansed the hard engage over the wall by Eat My Apples, which would have put him in a disastrous position. The Ornn ult came through, but got blocked by Braum, so it didn't follow up. Nunu came in from behind, put the Blood Boil on Azir, and those Sand Shoulders ripped through the front line of Desolate, allowed them to plow on through, keep getting those kills. Excellent job, excellent team fight for Yeet. In that regards, Varus picked up some assists, didn't really get touched as Kog'Maw had to keep backing up further and further and further away to get from those soldiers, and they plowed right on through the tanks. Nice job, Yeet. Shen ultimate came in through just in time as well to keep Charlie alive. They're gonna have to do that again if they want to, dominate another team fight like that. That was repetitive. Do it again if they want to dominate again.
Well, they do.
You get the gist.
I do get it, and if they do want to have they do have to dominate the next team fight if they want that one again. But Baron is currently up, so maybe, quite possibly, they do want to put some vision down there and try to contest it. They are at the stage where they are strong enough to be able to take it down right here. So just at this stage of the game, watch how both teams are able to play this macro movement. So if they move on further into the playoffs, I think other teams need to be studying how they play these games, how they are able to move around the map, and how they just communicate with each other to be able to have that progressive shot calling be a threat.
Well, it looks like the clearing of the top half of the map is what Yeet is looking for. You said, touched on it. Baron is now something that could possibly be an objective. Charlie has also gone for a QSS on top of his cleanse. So he does not want to get stuck down by any hard CC that Sejuani or Malzahar or Ornn can bring out. I guess can't really QSS the knockup from Ornn, but definitely good engage in the bot lane. Top laners being top laners.
Strategic foresight.
Top laners being top laners. Decided in an XF4 just gonna be fighting out back and forth. Putting back some damage. 1, 2, 3. There's the stopwatch being used. That is gonna be a flash one as well. Decided wants to go for this one. Hextech ultimatum, it has to be used by XFO. He's gonna dash right back into this one as well. Will they have a fight? Decided! Minions!
Getting hyped up for that. Top laners being top laners. As Varus is now off in a side lane, getting the 80 carry split push off, pulling a double lift.
Man. Right as you thought Decided would won that fight, the minions coming back.
The flash to
letting
get that
Decided
Q
get
pull through. Excellent shed mechanics, if I don't say so myself. You know, Camille, the re-engage, dodging the the block circle. Ugh, that's what top laners live for right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Being able to finally fight it out. Well, here comes the middle lane fight. And Amo, I think they want to fight here, but they're not going to. I wanted to see a blood battle right there.
Yeah, just Desolate has to set up their engage properly. Getting in on the Charlie Smells should be their priority, but the problem is they have to get through Cleanse and QSS and Nunu and Braum, and so they have to do it with the right way. If they get their CC layered in properly, their team tanks right now are just going to get absolutely shredded through. There's not a little magic resist coming out on the side of Desolate yet. No, locket or anything. We just have the Gargoyle Stone Plate on the side of Sejuani. No MR on the side of Camille or Malzahar or Kog'Maw. Ornn is working his way there, but not quite there yet. So just the amount of damage he can put out. Also Varus with the Hurricane and Rage Blade laying down all of those extra procs.
The Forge Guard is going to be used, and it looks like someone is going to be stunned up. That's going to be Trie getting stunned up. When you get CC'd so much, they have that thing on the top of the bar now that says when you're stunned up. I couldn't even see the name there because he was CC locked for so long.
Pretty much the whole entire time. So that's what Desolate's decided to do. They decide, okay, we can't go for one of the carries. Let's pick off one of the tanks. They take out the Nunu. Let's see what they can do with it. Maybe look to take this top lane with the Sejuani and the Malzahar. Shen has ulti, though.
Trouble. Is he going to be able to escape? He does just walk out a bit, and I think that tower is going to get taken down. Living Artillery is going to be used a lot into Charlie Smells to try to put some poke down, and there is the top lane tier 1 tower going in on the side of Desolate finally right there. And most towers have been broken except the middle and the bot lane towers, respectively, on both teams.
And with Yeet's team comp, they don't care, honestly, about the bot lane tower. It can sit up for as long as it needs. They just need a spot to put Shen, right? While the rest of the team controls the other, 2/3 of the map. In that regards, unless it comes in times for Elder Dragon. So for the next 10 minutes or so, they really don't care if they can get this bottom tier. But they want to make sure that they keep the mid tier 1 up for as long as possible, because that means it makes it harder for Desolate to get the split push on and control the Baron area at the same time. They just have to spread themselves too thin. They were able to do it successfully last time because they got off on the engage on the Nunu. But now that Dragon spawned, we are at another Air Drake. Let's see if they want to send 5 people here. Nunu is pinging Baron.
Okay, they ping for the Baron, but they don't go for it. I think that's a bit of miscommunication coming out on the side of Yeet Street. But they do pick up that Dragon right away. So 2 Cloud Drakes and 2 Ocean Drakes on both teams, respectively. But I'm quite curious to see if Yeet Street are able to take that Baron, possibly they did ping it like crazy, and I don't think that would have actually been a bad play if they got that Baron and proactively just taken it really quickly.
Poseidon has the level advantage right now against XFO in this bot lane. Oh, no more taunting and damage.
The tower is up, so...
Yeah, I can't really press that one too far.
Well, looks like this Baron dance probably might be starting soon. Charlie Smells just going to be clearing out some vision. He does get silenced up by Sandillion right there, so they do know where where Yeet Street are. Charlie Smells has put up one of those Azir towers, so I mean, right now, I'm quite curious to see if they do a rotation down, but here comes Eat My Apples on the backside. They catch him out with vision. They know exactly where he is, and they do, and Desolate takes down this Azir tower, and Glacial Fissure is going to land onto Eat My Apples right there. There's the Q as well coming in from Braum. There's the Call of the Forge. Godtree is going to use the Absolute Zero. Get out of that one. Blame my support. He's going to be on the backside as well. Eat My Apples is going to get taken down by T-Crank right here. XFO is going to be trying to jump in for more. Look at T-Crank to be trying to get taken down. Charlie Smells picks up a kill onto XFO, and here comes the little soldiers to be putting down a lot of damage on the side of Desolate right there. And it looks like they might be rotating for Baron, and that's a lot of damage. That's a shutdown going in on the side of Charlie Smells. Or are they gonna be able to go for more? No, that's not gonna be. That's gonna be the Nethergrass planted by Sandillion. That's a double kill coming in on Sandillion as well. And a very nice. Oh, that's gonna be the piercing arrow landing. And holy moly, that team fight was incredible. T-Crank with the clutch Q coming out at the end of the day. But it looks like they're going to rotate to this Baron.
Desolate stepped a little bit too far on the engage, and as a result, they fell into Yeet's hand. They split up a little bit too far. Yeet and Yeet with the Nunu and the Varus are going to take this on. Teleport coming in. Looks like they're going to have to back their way out of this. Camille going to go in for the re-engage. Holy crap, they're fighting again.
Well, they're fighting again. T-Crank's going to be on the backside, putting out the damage. The arrows are shooting, but he's going to get caught out at the end of the day. And XFO picks himself up another kill.
Yeet is throwing in this one. Soon as they get in position after that team fight to, take control of the game, they throw it by going for the Baron and not respecting what's happening on the inside here. Now we'll see if Desolate's time to throw right back to Yeet.
Remember, Tree is right there, ready to flash in with the smite or maybe the consume. Will he be able to do this one? Watch it, and he does not get it. Nethergrass is going to land onto him.
But Azir from outside the pit, we'll see how much damage should be able to shred through him.
Call of the Forge God is going to be coming out as well. That's going to land onto Charlie Smells, put down the CC. That's going to be him using the ultimate. And here comes Yeet Street. That's going to be an ace coming out on the side of Desolate right there.
Charlie didn't go from the back of the pit. He decided to come in from the side and not allowing his shoulders to absolutely set up properly. He spent that extra amount of time to get around, and it cost them the ability to come in and just shred through what was somewhat low health members. And with Baron here pushing in this mid lane, they should be able to at least get the inhibitor as T-Crank's busy in bot lane.
And this is the back and forth that is coming out from Yeet Street. Looks like Desolate is going to break open the base and take down the first inhibitor. Yeet Street had such a good time to be able to win this game and just play those macro movements well, but they did not. They fell short, and Desolate has gotten the momentum and going into this game. Holy cow. They are just doing well.
Desolate, just that gold swing at the box and the end graph is going to be ridiculous. Desolate overextended into that team fight with their Sejuani coming from the back end, Camille trying to engage in, and Yeet pretty much cleaned house, knocked out the frontliners. Only like Kog'Maw was up left, and instead of just backing their way out, taking their victory, Charlie presses forward to get that kill onto Blame My Support. In succeeding so, puts himself in a position where Sandillion and the Toucan can take him out, which means that his team overextends to pick up the kill on the support. Then it's a 3v1 against Sandillion on Malzahar, and instead of just backing off, taking once again their lead from that victory, no, they press it forward. They try and go for the all-in and go to Baron, and by doing so, teleport comes in from Camille absolutely throws a fight. Then it's a 3v1, and Desolate would turn what looked to be a defeat into a large victory here, now setting up for the Infernal Drake with
Stand
Baron.
United is going to be used on Charlie Smells, Call of the Forge God as well, not really landing. This clutch Stand United at the end of the day to just help him out. But I mean, just 4K goalie currently for Desolate. The middle inhibitor is pushing down onto Yeet Street's base. At this point, Desolate are on poise to take down this game. Infernal Dragon is going to be spawning in 5 seconds. They are going to take that down. And just a lot of back and forth coming in from both teams right here. Well, right now, it looks like Yeet Street are going to be defending this tier 2 tower on the side of Desolate. Desolate looks like they do want to potentially push up for more. It looks like they're going to be more proactive, and they're just going to push down this base to try to break open this bottom lane tier 3 tower if they're able to. The wave is gone. They do have a lot of wave clear because of Charlie Smells right here. But I mean, just the living artillery and the living artillery is just helping out the side of Desolate to clear Yeet Street's wave as well. Where's Amo? Is he not here? Alright, well, anyways. Currently 34 minutes into this game. Desolate's just trying their best, and they have done a lot of work, man. Just Manny and the Desolate fanboys are bringing it back in this game right here. It looks like this middle lane inhibitor is going to be respawning. Not quite yet, but they just have to wave clear a bit to be able to stall it out and potentially claw their way back to win this game. Yeet Street aren't out of this game yet, but Desolate just has so much momentum currently, and just looking at anything else, both the Dragon and Baron aren't going to be spawning anytime soon, so they do have time to reset right here, but I hope that Desolate can make some proactive play and potentially catch someone out to be able to end off this game. Trie is in the top side of the map. I'm going to be trying to defend that tier 2 tower right here. Amo, we can hear you. What's up?
Okay. I was like, I think I accidentally cut my mic or unplugged it on the last fight or something. I was gonna say Azir has pen but doesn't have enough damage right now in these team fights, as they're trying to play defense. That turn was so drastic that put them out of position. Nunu success is gonna start falling off greatly if you can't blood bore Azir to shred through them. If that's the only thing you're good at right now, that's not good enough. He's not offering anything else at the moment.
The middle inhibitor is going to be respawning soon, so they have stalled it out. Desolate just took the inhibitor, didn't really take anything more other than after that one, but XFO and Poseidon as well going to be putting down a lot of poke back and forth. Inhibitor has respawned, so I hope Yeet Street, maybe they can make it back and they make it a competitive game, but for Desolate, just in a good position to just play out their game and try their best to be able to push it out further.
Interesting that they sent Varus to the mid lane. I guess they're considering that the longer sustain coming out as top laners, duking it out yet again.
Duking it out so many times in this game, but Eat My Apples is gonna break the sanctity of having them fight each other and try to help out his team.
The 3-1's interesting here. They're set up. I'm not sure why they didn't spend a little bit better chance setting up to get the inhibitor back open. They should have this, set up relatively to get the inhibitor. Eat My Apple seem to have the same idea to, push in this mid lane. There's no tower here. Yeet wasn't willing to defend it. They're not even defending. Varus is back in base. We're giving it a sub.
Oh, this is. They just let that one go. I'm not sure if they had a team fight. I'm not sure if they would have decisively lost, but I think they should have done something to defend that inhibitor right there. But they gave it up, and it looks like the red buff of Yeet Street's red buff is just gonna go to the side of Blame My Support as well. So Yeet Street right here, they're not in a good position, but they aren't out of the game fully yet. Zero Battery might be caught out.
They have to blind check into the Baron area right now because that's what they're desperately worried about. The issue also comes in there's the missed
Charlie
engage.
smells.
T-Crank missed the ultimate, and that's the only engage for Yeet Street. That's their best chance to get in to, get the team fight going in their favor. And if they don't have that ultimate on the side of the Varus, there's no way for them to continue to compete in this game, and they just sit back on the defensive. It's kind of what you saw the last game. When you don't have a hard engage, it's really hard to make team fight comebacks because you can't dictate when the fight is.
Well, looking at the top side as well, that is going to be a big wave pushing it onto the side of Yeet Street. And it looks like right now, Sindelian's going to go back to base, so it looks like they're just going to reset. But they did put Poseidon in the bottom lane. Now they're going to put him back to the top side to potentially push out this wave and just have some wave advantages for the side of Yeet Street. But I mean, currently right now, Yeet Street, they're just stalling it out. Or Desolate not making as many proactive plays. Baron and Dragon are going to be up soon. So watch for them to possibly force some objectives for the side of Desolate.
That's their goal right now. The issue is the fact that, Nunu, all the advantage gained early, is now 2 levels behind the Sejuani. Braum is still level 13. That's drastically behind the level 18 of the mid laner and the 17s of the top laners. They're just not in a position here. They're going to go for a Fnatic Bush.
Ooh. They're just going to go for it. They know though, but Poseidon does have the Standing United and the teleport up. Sindelian is going to land the Nether Grasp onto Zero Battery. Here's the call of the Forge God as well. This is not a good look for Yeet Street. Absolute Zero right here is going to slow them down and stun them up, but T-Crank is going to get taken down by the Living Artillery. Here comes Desolate to sweep up this fight. Poseidon's in a bit of trouble. He's going to get taken down. That's going to be a double kill for XFO right here. Charlie Smells going to be popping down the nice blast cone to stop down Desolate's side, but Charlie Smells is going to be trying to run away from this one. Has to use the flash as well. Hextech Ultimatum is going to be used, and that's going to be an ace on the side of Desolate.
And that's what you get when you don't have an hard engage. You have to make the enemy team come and engage on you, and that's exactly what Desolate did. Great combination of layering the CC, the Malzahar ultimate onto the Braum, meant that Orin's ult could come right through, not have to worry about anything. Kog'Maw free firing in the back line, absolutely shredding through whatever damage, as Yeet was stuck next to the Baron, getting all of that reduced damage onto them. Excellent comeback here in Game 2 from Desolate. We're going to Game 3, Flash.
Going to Game 3, like you said, and both these teams are going to have to fight for their lives in one last game. Hopefully the nerves aren't going to get to them. Hopefully both these teams can show us something. But I mean, it all comes down to this. Basically a best of one at the end of the day.
Best of one coming up. Excellent job on the there we are. View on the web. Oh, it's not gonna let me do it. So it's definitely the gold spike, right? Like that gold change after that team fight, that extended team fight into the Baron is what won Desolate the game, right? Like they were not in position to win. They overextended, as we touched on. Yeet capitalized on that. They took out the overextended members, the Sejuani in the back line, the Camille on the side, and then once again they stuck around too long. Charlie did it in laning phase, and had to burn like Flash and Cleanse when the Sejuani reganked, and then they did it again in that team fight because he wanted to pick up the kill on Blame My Support instead of just taking what you got and going home with a small victory instead of winning the lotto, right? If you go to the casino and you go in with $25 and you walk out with $30, $40, $50, excellent, good, you won, congratulations, good job. But it's when you take that $50 and you put it all on black and it turns red that your day is done.
It is done, but I mean, I am curious to see who is able to fight for their lives in this last game. Just it was going Yeet Street's way in the beginning. One bad team fight, as you said, put them behind, and then Desolate just rolled and rolled and had this big rampage, and they just won the game. But we are into game 3. I'm excited, Amo, just for this last game. I mean, just what do you want to see from both these teams?
We saw a little bit of Yeet wanting to do the scale up again. They control possibly with they went back to the 1-3-1, but this time with the 80 carry in the side lane, and their top laner having a global there that come in and help when necessary. The 1v1s between the top laners have been pretty good this series. A lot of back and forth, excellent play between the two of them. Good to see that coming out instead of just like wet noodle fights. But in that regards, it's starting to get a little bit more in favor in the one split push on the side of XFO. He's going to go for he goes for the carry again versus the tanks of Yosidon. It just kind of depends on how well the team fights can go in that regards for the side of the tanks versus the carries. Mid lane has been pretty much Charlie controlling it, but then overstepping his bounds. When he was on Cassidon, him overstepping his bounds got him triple kills, and when he's Azir, his overstepping his bounds got him killed. And it's maybe the mobility, maybe it's the fact that the proper laying in CC was better in this game by Desolate in game 2 than it was in game 1. That's just sort of how it was looking in that regards. Versus the bot laners have been pretty much the AD carry that doesn't get touched has been shredding these team fights, and both times that AD carries won the game. They're still carrying in the late game because they're not being, engaged hard enough upon for them to not die.
Well, game 3 is going to start soon, but for now, I'm going to hop off a little bit and be right back as I need to get some water and also relieve myself, but we are going to be back soon.
Caster break.
Caster break. We needed this one. Cool. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Prophecy Cup. We're back. We're on to game 3. If you didn't know, I'm Flash, joined alongside Amo again. We are ready to get on to game 3. I hope the teams are ready. And Amo, how are your thoughts on these first 2 games?
It really shows kind of Yeet's style. I think it's been more shown here than Desolate's, but it definitely shows that you can beat Yeet because I don't want to say cockiness, but the willingness to overstay and overextend themselves is something that needs to be capitalized on in the mid game. We touched a little. You saw this in game 1 with Trie stepping up too far, or not Trie, sorry, T-Crank stepping up too far forward to try and get some tower damage down. That he got caught out. It almost happened again where Desolate tried to capitalize on, but Charlie Smells on the casting was able to swoop in and save the day in that regards. And then in game 2, Charlie Smells this time was the one stepping up too far forward and they couldn't capitalize, or Desolate capitalized on that this time and was able to win the team fights to get the Baron to snowball to victory. So we'll see if Yeet can sort of pull the reins in slightly to control the map and their play a little bit better, or if Desolate can look to capitalize a lot more on those little bit of overextensions on the side of Yeet.
Well, we are back onto the pick ban phase right here. Let's see if Yeet Street are able to push this one further. Again, they do not want Charlie to go on that Rise and that Veigar. Sejuani is going to be banned out as well, so both games Sejuani was picked up, and it looks like Desolate is going to ban it out as they don't want Trie to potentially put himself on that Sejuani and just carry up this game, but Alistar is going to be the first pick on the side of Yeet Street. So 0 battery going to be put on that Alistar. Hopefully they can make it happen. Game 1 was the Alistar, so maybe they might like remirror what they had in game 1 and try to have that work.
Well, if they have the same bands coming out on the side of Yeet as game 1, it looks like on of Desolate, they're the ones that have changed the third band.
You're cutting in a little bit, but you're cutting out a little bit, Amo. Well, anyways, looks like Kog'Maw and Zac are going to be picked up on the side of Desolate right here. So Zac, again, on the side of Eat My Apples, just like game 1. Quite possibly they want to just mirror something up right here and be able to potentially pick that up. And it looks like if Xayah gets picked up, Xayah's going to get picked up right there. So Alistar and Xayah, again, they had success on this in game 1, and it looks like they want to resort back to what they had in the first game. Are you better?
How is this? Is this
You're better now, yes.
super? Okay,
Super.
Unplugged and replugged seems the best way to go about it. That a Gragas for T-Ray?
It is going to be a Gragas.
Going into the... Well, Gragas can be a little bit more aggressive as, Yeet going back to the success of Xayah Alistar bot lane. See, do you think you go for a support here? Do you go back to the Braum?
Another Ornn support, right?
Maybe. I mean, you're taking away from Yosidon, and you saw what he did in the first game on that champion as pretty successful. So at least taking it away, so that's not a possibility. And the fact that Letucan did play it last game definitely shows that you can throw it down in that bot lane. Instead, as now here come the mid lane bans.
Well, you do have that Ornn as a flex pick now, so it is obviously a good thing to have because they don't know, are they going to run it Ornn top, are they going to run it back support, because they did have success last game. They do have a Kog'Maw as well, so they could be able to pair up this Kog'Maw and Ornn just like last game. So we don't know where this Ornn is going to go. I'm not even going to make an assumption right now, but Malzahar and Xerath are going to be banned out as well. So as per usual, Charlie Smells gets targeted again. Blame My Support is going to be the next one to pick, but they are going to ban out Gnar, and they do ban out Camille. So they do still ban out top lane bans, assuming that it is going to be an Ornn support.
Now, do they just... I bet Desolate just messes with Yeet right now and picks Vladimir. That way you can flex everything around with your final pick.
Well, Jax. So that is probably going to be an Ornn support now then. Assuming.
Yeah. That would be. So we'll see what Josiah wants to play in it. They want to leave the counter pick for Sundillion in the mid lane. We'll see if it is successful. Now, the first game one, the Jace and the Kassadin versus game two, the Malzahar into Azir. Neither were actually successful in laning phase. There's the Maokai pickup for Yosidon.
The Maokai pickup coming out as well. So Jax against Maokai. I'm assuming, as per usual, Decided is just gonna try to farm it out. He's just gonna farm it out. He's just gonna try his best to do what he can. And here comes that Kassadin pick coming out from Charlie Smells, wreaking havoc in game one. So hopefully he can do something in game two. They did leave this mid lane pickup to the last pick so that they are able to counter Charlie Smells, because it is Charlie Smells has been popping off these few games. Even last game as Azir, he did have some misplays, but overall did pretty decently.
We'll see if this is where they want to focus and maybe actually pressure in harder on the Kassadin. Gragas is a jungler that can gank a lot earlier than the Zac. Orianna, another, well, I guess this time more of a control mage, can go in on the Kassadin pre-6, as you do have the ranged versus melee matchup, but it's something that Kassadin can sustain through. The Q on Kassadin gets that magic shield, help prevents the auto damage coming out on the side of Orianna because of her passive dealing magic damage on autos. Should help with that, but we'll see. We'll see how the lanes match up. You do have a nice ball delivery system with either Jax or Zac or Ornn, depending on how you want to play it, for Orianna, or you can just, play Protect the Cog with it.
Well, picks are locked in, and we are all locked in and ready to go. Looking at both these team comps on Yeet Street, it is going to be Maokai, Gragas, Kassadin, Xayah, and Alistar. So just a bit of what they did well on in game one, including the Maokai and the Gragas, but Kassadin, Xayah, and Alistar was played up in game one, so I mean, just see if they are able to win this one out. But here it is, game three, to keep their hopes alive in this playoff dreams. Hopefully Yeet Street or Desolate can move up. The winner of this is going to move on to next week's semifinals. So there's a lot on the line. If you lose this one, you're out of the season.
Yeet trying to go back and retain their title. In this game, they're like, we are not going to go with a team comp with no divers. They got Gragas, Maokai, Alistar, Kassadin, all going to be diving in onto this Kog'Maw and Orianna backline. They really don't care about protecting T-Crank. T-Crank's going to have to use Flash and Ultimate very wisely in these fights to, stay sustained and lived up while Kassadin destroys the backline.
Well, I mean, Alistar can also help out with the...
Dude, me and you watched game one. That top lane, did Alistar help out Xayah? No. Alistar said, bye. You're stuck by yourself. I'm going after the AD carry.
Well, I mean, that game they didn't have as much dive as they do this game. This game is insane for initiation. But I mean, in game two, Yeet Street had no initiation whatsoever. So they're trying to change it up, put some initiation on their team. And this could be just the composition that they want to be able to push them to propel themselves up to the next part of the playoffs seeding. So hopefully they can make it happen. But looking on the other side as well, if you want to look at initiation, you do have Zach and you also have the Orn. So both teams just all three games seems like they are picking up team comps that they do want to fight with.
And this is what you touched on Empire Moscow 5. See hero, kill hero. It's a lot easier to do that when you have CC and the initiation. It's something that teams that are struggling or teams that are maybe not as mechanically skilled as other teams can rely on to make their micro into macro plays. The better CC and better initiation you have means that usually you should be the one dictating the terms of the fights, where, when, how, why they happen. And if you're the one doing that, you're the one being aggressive, you're the one, if you plan correctly, should be put in the position to succeed in taking the objectives, which then lead to more objectives, which lead to the victory.
We are 15 seconds into the spectator delay right here. Let's see if either teams can pull themselves a victory and finish themselves up a game. We have finished 2 games already. Game one has went to Yeet Street. Game 2 going on to the side of Desolate. Basically, now it is a best of 1 for both teams to fight for their lives, and hopefully they can all do their best and show us a good game of League of Legends, because that's what we want at the end of the day. It's just a quality play. We want quality League of Legends.
Yeah, so hashtag Yeet versus hashtag Des in the chat.
Hashtag YEET and hashtag DES.
Yeah, there we go.
YET win.
Yeah. That's spellbook on Gragas.
Wow.
Do you take the spellbook so you can change your smite later? But you always want smite.
I do think you generally do want smite, but I mean, hey, you know what? When the Baron and Dragon are gone, what do you need a smite for, right?
That's true. I mean, once it gets to like the end of the game, and it's like, oh, Dragon's down for 6 minutes. Do you just swap out your smite for exhaust or teleport or ignite, whatever you need, and then you can back in time and you'll recharge, swap back to your smite for the possible steal?
You know what? We doubted. We didn't really doubt. We questioned the Orange support last game, so possibly Trie is knowing what he wants to do on this spell book. I'm gonna hope so, at least, because last game they played.
Mm-hmm.
Trie didn't use spell book, so it's not like a oh no, I forgot to change my runes kind of game. He chose the spell book, and he was going into this matchup with the spell book. So hopefully he makes something happen. I mean, maybe being innovative in the meta.
Well, it also lowers your cooldowns on your summoners, so more flash engages coming out on the side of Gragas could be helpful. Also, maybe he doesn't go green smite and you get more blue smites. I doubt that he doesn't go green smite. This is 5s here, as wards are extremely important in that regards. As I think both these, we're looking at the statistics, both the junglers here, smaller sample side of Eat My Apples, were pretty much within the same region for the wards per game, wards per minute, that type of thing. So definitely green smitems for them.
Well, we are onto the rift finally. Looks like gold advantage already going on inside the Desolate because they killed that ward.
We had our first invade of the playoffs.
But a very nice capitalization on the other side from Yeet Street. They do go up to the other red side. They do put some vision down, so they will know if where Eat My Apple starts.
Now, both junglers have started blue in both games, and as that's the current expected meta, I don't see why getting a red buff ward is really exciting is placement, especially if that's your standard expected route.
We're just gonna let production know as well. The names on the stream are swapped right now. So Yeet Street is on the blue side, Desolate is on the red side. But other than that, blue starts on both these junglers, just like you said. So Eat My Apples gonna probably have a nice, last game Nunu a nice drive-by snowball. So maybe this game a drive-by slime ball.
There is that interaction with the minions. We just saw it. This did come down in patch 8.2. The targeted spells damage coming out on the side of a Kassadin. Q now does do the targeted spell, so did take minion aggro in that trade with the Orianna. And as a result, maybe a little bit more damage coming back onto Kassadin than normally expected.
Other than that, I mean, Charlie Smells is keeping up a little bit, but he's down in CS by 5 right now. Orianna is ranged comparatively to a melee of Charlie Smells Kassadin. Looks like Eat My Apples has completed his red buff right now, and he's gonna just take the Scuttle Crab. Oh no, he's not gonna take the Scuttle Crab. He wants to invade into the enemy Gromp and potentially take that one and deny Shrie from that Gromp.
Well, top laners, really boring.
Yeah, going back and forth. I think every game it's been a really slow start. We haven't been seeing anything very big coming out from the junglers early game, like pre 10 minutes. So maybe this might be the game that this changes. But I mean, other than that, just the lanes have been playing out themselves and a little bit of ganks coming in. Nothing super big. No like 4-man dives 5 minutes into the game. But I mean, just a really standard start coming out from both teams to be able to just they know that this is the last game that they are going to play in the season if they do lose. So both these teams don't want to lose this game, and they do want to make something happen as T-Crank stuns up Blame my support in that bottom lane.
Yeah, we're just CSing. It's farm time. We'll see if Zach actually will get off a gank here, as Gragas has been kind of slow to move around the map. A little bit more mobility as on the side of Zach at the moment. Definitely stealing that camp puts in an advantage, but looking to go down here on this bottom half. Maybe the counter gank, as we'll see repeat performance. Here comes in that Gragas. Zach's going to be following behind here in just a moment.
Scuttle Crab is also on the side of Desolate in that bottom river, so they will know when Trie moves along that river. So a very nice pickup there. It looks like currently, I think nothing big is really gonna happen until Charlie Smells and Sindillion hits that level 6. When they hit that level 6, I do hope that Charlie Smells goes around and roams a little more. They do want to control Charlie Smells, because if he is able to pop up like we saw in game 1, watch him take control of this whole game, and just any champion that is in his way will get deleted.
Yeah, the advantage, as we see here, Zach's actually going to engage here.
Zach's going to engage onto this one. Zero batteries, just going to use the pulverize to stop Eat My Apples from coming in. Wow, words have been killing me today, but no summoners burnt right there. So T-Crank and Zero Battery, that was a very nice gank that they fended off. Good for them.
Kind of a little forced on the side of Eat My Apples, as their lanes were pushing in anyway, trying to maybe burn a summoner that come back later. Definitely wasn't looking to get a hard engage there, as Zero Battery kicking Kog'Maw out from getting that last CS.
I actually really love how Zero Battery plays this Alistar. When that Kog'Maw wants to go in for the CS, he's just going to come in, press W, and not let Kog'Maw do anything. Both mid laners are level 6 right here, and Trie is going to be there as well. Orianna is going to get bullied out a bit. I hope directed camera brings me up there, but looks like they don't care about that mid lane fight.
Orianna walked it on out back to the safety of where, Zach was expected from that, so no real follow-up here. Zach's trying to, path along with the Gragas and just trying to do a counter gank. Definitely a lot better job this time by Eat My Apples than in game 1 with the ganks, or even in game 2 on the guy on the side.
Knowing where this Zach is at all times, and it looks like Zach is just one step behind this Trie's Gragas, and every time they see that Gragas come up, it looks like Zach is right behind, ready to have a counter gang. So good on Zach to just be able to follow through with it and just putting the vision down in this dragon area. It is an Ocean Drake first, so if they do want to fight for that, that is going to be a good fight if they are able to take down that dragon in the early games.
Sidon's already head backed and bot and, teleported back up to top lane. So after being pushed in the tower, was going to, stayed under tower as Jax is going to keep pushing in, head back as well, but did not teleport back to lane. So teleport advantage on the side of Jax at the moment, but a Doran's Blade is not really the best item to teleport the bot lane with.
And I think it's actually not bad for Poseidon to be just going a little behind, because he is playing Maokai, and when you're Maokai and you're ahead, I mean, obviously it's good, but I mean, it's not the hugest thing. But meanwhile, there is going to be a gank coming in. XFO places a ward, jumps away. It looks like the ultimate is going to be used on the top side, but here comes Zero Battery. He misses actually the headbutt, and he has to flash away. Eat My Apples might be able to take him down. The Pulverize is missed as well. Zero Battery with these minor mechanical misplays.
Just misses out, did burn the flash and the heal on the side of T-Crank, so Zach, successful first gank in the lane pushing in, means should be able to get the free dragon here. Gragas, failed gank up top, excellent escape by XFO on the, the Jax up there, means dragon here. Gragas is going to steal red buff away. That's not going to be enough, though, as this Kog'Maw is, going to start ramping up. Little misplay by Zero Battery, but I don't think nothing that's you can't come back from. But it's really the dragon and the control that Desolate has right now. They have to now compound on that. We've seen one team successful with the early lead, and one team successful without the early leads in matches 1 and 2. So let's see what they can do in this one.
But just that minor misplay just has Desolate being able to take that dragon is gonna put them ahead. But hopefully Yeet does come back from this. So game 1, they did lose a dragon in game 1. And they did come back from it, so it's not a big deal as you said. But currently I am looking at Charlie Smells to take over this game at some point. He is so strong on that Kassadin, and I'm gonna hope that Sindelian is going to be able to catch up and keep up with Charlie. But I mean, right now, Zero Battery just gonna clear some wards in the Tri-Brush area. Nothing big too far. A nice 800 gold lead on the side of Desolate right now. Looking at farm as well. That is going to be a 10 CS differential on the top side, and also a 10 CS differential. Actually, 10 CS differential everywhere on all the laners.
The difference was, though, in game 1, when they gave up that dragon, they had already gotten kills in the bot lane. They made the, Desolate had to burn teleport and burn sums and ultimates to get that dragon, but they didn't get any kills in game 1. They just got the dragon. In this game, they got the first blood in bot lane, and they didn't burn any summoners for it in that regard. So Desolate being further ahead this time, then actually they weren't even ahead the last time they got the dragon. They took a negative in the game 1 when they took it.
Well, they did, but hopefully this time it is going to be turned around. Zero Battery and T-Crank just going to be farming out this bottom side right here. If any big fights happen, I hope Zero Battery is able to land some stuff. Charlie Smells and Sindelian just going to be putting some poke back and forth right now. 10 minutes into this game, as we said, as per usual. A very, very slow start coming up from both sides. But look at that crazy CS differential coming in on the side of Poseidon. 56 to 84 CS currently.
Well, here comes the tank in the bot lane.
This is going to be the call of the Forge God going to be used. T-Crank is going to be rooted up and has to use the stopwatch as well. Unstoppable is going to be Eating My Apples. He's going to get taken down. One more auto attack is going to take him down. Living Artillery is going to finally get him out. And this is going to be Yeet Street losing another kill. Meanwhile, Charlie Smells and Sandalian just going to be meeting up in the top, in the middle area, but another death on the side of Yeet Street.
The better reliable CC won the engage in bot lane. I said it earlier, the better engage is easier for you to pull off in the mid, in the ganks.
Another fight coming out as well. Zero Battery might be in a bit of trouble. Eat My Apples is going to be tanking up that tower. He does have the stun up if he's able to auto attack, but they do currently hold it off. Charlie Smells is here to pick up a kill onto Eat My Apples. So Eat My Apples tanking down that tower a little more than he asks for.
So everything I've said has basically come true. Stick around too far, push your advantage too much, and you pay for it. That re-engage in bot lane against two tanky champions with CC, and a teleport comes in on the side of Cassin. What set up the play was the fact that you had the tankiness and better CC that allowed you to kill the enemy AD carry who didn't have heal. So now what advantage you took, you tried to press it too far and you didn't succeed in what you were trying to do. You still got a net positive on that side of Desolate, but you didn't get as much of a net positive as you see. Oh, nice Zonias.
Oh man, the stopwatch has to be used, but here comes the twisted advance to land onto XFO. Trie is going to be here with the barrel. The body slam doesn't really land. Flash is also used by XFO. I don't think he should have used that flash because he would have died anyways.
I keep calling it. I've been calling it Zonias for so long, and stopwatch, man.
It is stopwatch, yeah. It is season 8, right? Season 8. New things have come out this season.
Well, the stopwatches are all broken on the side, or I guess not all broken. Only one stopwatch is broken.
Trie has it.
Yeah, Trie still has. I was looking at the stopwatches on the side of Desolate.
Oh, Desolate has 3 up right
Yeah,
now.
3 up.
3 of them are up.
Yeah.
They're gonna be broken soon, though. I mean, I don't want to assume that they're gonna be broken soon, but I mean, if they do have fights, they will be. But this is that league of stopwatches.
Yeah, they're gonna look to punish this bot lane. They already have an advantage down here. They want to keep pushing this forward. They want to get this tower down here in bot lane. Charlie Smells going in for nice trade at mid. But Zach wants to get in onto this bot lane. He wants to just, get this Kog'Maw fed going really strong. The Rage Blade is setting up really nice right now. And getting it get Kog'Maw to another item. Maybe get first tower down here.
Well, it looks like Sandalian and Charlie Smells gonna be back in the middle area. So a lot of pings coming down. 24 seconds until the dragon is going to be up. So right now, let's see who is able to come back and possibly take down this dragon. T-Crank might be caught out right there. He's gonna have to use the Feather Storms to try to CC that one out of this one. But T-Crank gets taken down by Blame My Support at the end of the day. XFO and Poseidon are gonna be fighting up in the top side, but another thing other than dead. And T-Crank, not a good game for him as he's currently 0-2 right now.
That's just a classic. If you play with fire, you're gonna get burnt. Poseidon's gonna try and all in the Jax.
Not really gonna land. Nature's Grass does land. XFO is a little low, stuns up Poseidon, but nothing other than that. Will he use the Twisted Advance to try to go for more? No, not yet, but the first tower is taken down. It is gonna be the bot lane tier 1 tower. Here comes Trie. Explosive Cask is up. And it looks like the next Ocean Dragon will be going out to the side of Desolate.
Desolate taking a lot of Ocean Dragons in this series tonight. I think that's like our fifth or sixth Ocean in 3 games. Absolute control coming out on the side of Desolate. This bottom half of the map, we saw it in game 1 where Trie on Sejuani ganked repeatedly and finally came away with a lot of success in the spot lane. It looks like Eat My Apples has taken that page out of the playbook, and this is like, I'm just going to keep coming down here because it keeps giving me money.
Well, I am actually not sure how many Ocean Dragons has been going on to the side of Desolate, but it has been a lot this game. I don't know the exact number. You might be more accurate than I am. I think last game they had about 2 or 3. I don't think they had 3. I think they had 2. But anyways, Zero Battery just gonna clear out some wards in this bottom side, and T Crank currently 0-2 against 2 0-1 on Blame My Support. And when you have a Kog'Maw, he's gonna be he's gonna get really strong in this later game. Being able to be a hyper carry in this later stage of the game is gonna be Kog'Maw. So hopefully they are able to shut down the Kog'Maw somehow and not have Kog'Maw just destroy and take over this game.
Zach is looking now to take that gank aspect up to the top lane here, as Yeet's going to look to try and defend it. And that's not going to be worth it, as Kog'Maw just mows down that tower. Also help with the demolition on the rune on the side of Ornn there. Get some nice proc damage on the tower.
Well, they tried their best to take down the tower. They tried to defend it, but at the end of the day, they do back off of this one. And it looks like right now they do ping down the Rift Herald. So that looks like that's going to be the next target. They do have a control ward down, and I think they know that the Rift Herald is getting taken down on the side of Yeet Street. But I don't think Yeet Street wants to engage on that one because they probably can't fight it out. Or are they going to actually come down? Well, it's already been taken. They're going to have a
They haven't picked... Oh, Ornn just did pick it up.
Picked up. T-Crank, don't try to get out of there. Explosive cast is going to be used as well. When is the Pulverize going to be used? That's going to be the headbutt to try to knock out Letucan. Here's the call of the Forge God. Is going to land onto anyone specific. It lands onto 2 members of Yeet Street as well. And that's going to be the stopwatch on Trie. Living Artillery on the backside as well to take down Zero Battery. But here comes Trie to fight out with Emai Apples. Looking on the other side, here comes Charlotte Smells to use the Rift Bomb out of there as well. Has to use the Flash. Going to try to go into Emai Apples. Emai Apples is going to have this passive up, but I don't think they're going to be able to take him down right here. T-Crank and friends of Yeet Street are getting taken down super, super low. The command attack and the command dissonance not really going to land onto the side of Trie. And a very nice pickup on the side of Desolate. And Yeet Street should be worried right now.
Yes, because Yosidon nearly killed XFO in the bot lane as well, but they weren't able to come away with really anything, and this is what they needed to do in Game 1. They had the pressure pushing lanes of the top and mid lane and the bot lane, and what in Game 1 happened was T-Ray on the Sejuani came in, swooped in, took out the pressure that was in that bot lane, and turned it in their favor. This time, Eat My Apples got his bot lane going, got them fed, and got them rolling. And now that the pressure that they've got from the top laner and the mid laner where they can control their waves and their lanes means that they're the ones taking towers. And that led into objectives such as the dragons and the early kills. And then when, Yeet Street shows up to try and look to contest the Rift Herald, it's just free pickings. I mean, they're down in Yeet's down in gold, down in items, down in levels, depending on which champion, which person you want to point out in particularly. Charlie can't engage over the wall because Kog'Maw is not really touched on. He's not at half health. Just the engage and CC overall starts the team fight in favor of Desolate, and they turn that into a bunch of kills. They turn that into the Rift Herald. They're going to be able to use that Rift Herald here in the mid lane if they want to use it early. They're using it way too early. Honestly, they didn't wait for any minion waves. They didn't set this up. But other than this setup, they've been setting up their other plays really nicely.
Well, currently looks like this might actually be a fight coming in on the side of Yeet Street. That Rift Herald is just knocking down the tower. That's going to be a double... I don't even know what that teleport is. Anyways, that's going to be a call of the Forge God landing on the 3-fill. Living Artillery is going to be on the backside trying to do a lot of damage, but the tower shots are hidden down the side of Desolate a lot. T-Crank might actually get caught up. XFL finally picks up the tower, and that's going to be a 1-4-0 on the side of Desolate.
That was XFO teleporting in from behind to try and get in onto T-Crank. Excellent job of trying to dodge all of the CC in that fight on his side. When he's dodging CC, he's not dumping out damage with Cassidy not there and able to help. And that 4v4, the damage that came out from the tower was mitigated by the fact that the Rift Herald was focusing the tower. The CC basically negated each other's team damage out. T-Ray got caught too far forward. He pays his life for it. But when you're behind, that's what happens.
Well, we do have a pause. Currently 20 minutes into this game. We are at game 3 right now. Currently both teams have 1 game each. Both Desolate and Yeet Street are fighting for their lives currently, and just 20 minutes into this game, it is a 6k gold lead on the side of Desolate. So after game 1, Desolate has just been revamping their strategies and coming back from this one. A really nice job on both Game 2 and Game 3 right here. Hopefully, Desolate can just try their best to push it out and do more work for their team. But I mean, it's currently still anyone's game. Yeet Street can come back, but Desolate still just having that momentum shift to themselves is such a big factor for their team.
Yeah, the momentum that they got from Game 2 seems to have steamrolled into this one, right? XFO is playing a lot more aggressive. He's playing a lot more forward on the tanky champions that Yosidon is pulling out, even though it has caused one of his deaths. But that teleport flank on that hard engage shows the aggression that he's playing. Sandelian's playing with more confidence against Charlie in lane, getting into the position where he's not roaming, he's keeping Charlie there, and as a result, allowed his teammates to take down the outer towers and the lane swap here. He kept Cassidon busy up in top lane, so Cassidon wasn't eligible to roam down and try and help with that mid lane fight. I'm going to say Eat My Apples really has stepped up his game after game 1 going into this third game here, and has been the more productive and more active jungler. And sometimes that's all you need for your team to be more successful, is when you take that passive style that sometimes Yeet plays and you just try and scale up and go to the late game. It allows the other team, if they take that opportunity to be proactive and be productive, they then get these leads. Now Yeet, because of the style I like to play, they do have a lot of comebacks, and they still have an opportunity to do so, but by doing that, you put yourself, on the back foot, and sometimes you can't always come back from that. So let's see if Desolate can, continue what they're doing here. Maybe look to get the next dragon here in the next 30 seconds. Baron is live, but I don't think that's an option for the next few minutes. And it's another Ocean Drake, which is just what someone like Zach needs, right? Just Zach and Orn love these Ocean Drakes in the late game with 3 of them.
I don't think they want to give this one up, though. Because 3 Ocean Drakes is going to be a big spike on the side of Desolate right here. They do start it up. Charlie Smells does have the teleport up. Let's see. Oh, they're not even.
They gave it up entirely because they don't have the items or the ability right now to fight it.
Well, they are going to land an explosive cast on XFO. He might get caught out right there. That's going to be a stun landing onto Poseidon as well, but that's going to be the Twisted Vant, and it looks like XFO might get taken down here, and that's going to be T-Crank picking up his first kill of the game.
Well, they went off and chased the top laner through the jungle, but they gave up priority on their mid lane and on that dragon we just touched on.
But it is a 4v5, and that's going to be a 2-man command shockwave as well. Call of the Forge God's going to be on the backside, and it looks like we might have Eat My Apples getting taken down right away. This might actually be not a bad engage if you want to go for more, because it is currently a 5v3 in the map right now, as XFO and Eat My Apples is currently dead.
That was an excellent Maokai ult. I don't think he meant to time it the way he did, but right as Orn's ult was gonna be the point where you redirect it, Orn got hit by the Maokai ult and got rooted and couldn't split the team with that. Also, they went their separate ways. Orianna went one way, Shockwave on the team members. Zach tried to pull some people back in, while Kog'Maw was on the backside trying to get away from Cassidon, so split decision. But just a coincidence there that Orn couldn't lay any CC in favor of his team because of Maokai.
And I do really, really like how they played out the Dragon Arrows. They gave it up. They didn't think they could win the 5v5. They pick off XFO in the top area, and then they try to force another fight because they know they have the man advantage. Just being able to communicate in that sense, in that fashion, Yeet Street just pushing aside Desolate a little bit and trying to claw their way back into this game. Currently, it is a 5k gold deficit on the side of Yeet Street, but just the small macro plays that they can make are going to force themselves ahead if they are able to do this properly. But currently, Desolate does still have the gold advantage. They still have the 3 Ocean Dragons. So, for Desolate, they're in the driver's seat right now, and it's up to them to be able to choose and pick and turn which part they want to go. It's like playing bumper cars, right? Yeet Street can try to bump you, but when you're in the driver's seat and you're controlling the game, you have all the power to be able to say, we want the fight here, we want the fight somewhere else, but currently it looks like there is going to be a fight in the middle lane. Eat My Apples is going to get stunned up. He does disengage off of that one. But other than that, nothing other than that is going to be big coming out on both sides.
Remember in game 1 when Charlie was going off? At 25 minutes, Charlie had the Sheen, almost had finished the Lich Bane, but had Zonia's and a fully stacked Rout of Ages. This game only has the Lich Bane and the fully stacked Rout of Ages, completely missing a full AP item. I know Zonia's a little more defensive and not straight AP, but that's the difference right now is Charlie can't get in on these team fights because he doesn't have enough damage to start taking people out. The Kog'Maw, Blame My Support, is already gone for the Negatron Cloak as well, still sitting on his stopwatch to pop if necessary. I know he's going for a Wit's End in this aspect versus what the Varus had, but he's already building that magic resistance. Zaya's going to have to deal with the tanks in the front line. Means Kog'Maw just has to worry about the Kassadin and the Maokai and the Gragas diving in from the bat or the sides, and they're all going to be bringing AP. So just, the itemization for Kog'Maw is lending it more and more to itself to being in a better situation. They can't get off the split push that Yeet wants. Desolate's the one controlling that aspect. They're putting, Orianna up here in the top wave just to catch the wave and clear it out, then look to put more aspect and control around this Baron area. Ornn and Zac, they're just running, ward duty in front of Kog'Maw while Kog'Maw's getting the CS. I mean, it's just, the control right now in Desolate is really strong, and we'll see if they can continue to strangle out Yeet.
So the next dragon that's going to be on the map is going to be a mountain dragon. So no more ocean dragons can spawn because a team already has 3. I believe that's still the thing, right?
Yeah, 3. 3 is the max.
3 is the max that you can get. So no more ocean dragons are going to be spawning up. They RNG'd it hard enough. Charlie Smells just going to be going down to this bottom lane. He does have teleport up, so if they do want to force a fight or something like that, or if they get caught out, he does have teleport to be able to roam up to wherever they're going to fight. But just like you said, 26 minutes right now, 4 kills to 5. But when you see the kill graph, you don't think it's a lot of, you're down a lot of kills, but I mean you're down a lot of gold because of all the objectives and the global presence that Desolate has been putting down onto Yeet Street currently.
Yeah, it's 3-0 in towers and 3-0 in dragons. That gold is something that you can't, just surmount. Everyone is basically, other than the mid laners, everyone on Desolate is like at least 1,000k over their opponent. Which in this case is like a full or a completed second item, or most of your completed second item just compared to 1.
Yeah, right now it is a little slower. Yeet Street has controlled it to be a little slower of a game. I want to see Desolate be able to make the proactive plays. I want to see Desolate try and make make something happen. You're in the momentum shift. You can try your best to be proactive. Maybe they want to just slow it down, but I believe that if you slow down this game, if you are able to give Yeet Street just that opportunity to try to come back, it's not going to go good for you. So, in my opinion, I do want to see Desolate make more proactive plays, but for Yeet Street, it's going perfect for you. Slow down the game. You know that you can try your best to come back in late game. So, I mean, Maokai gets off late game with the super tankiness, a lot of CC provided, and just Charlie Smells we know can pop off on that Kassadin. So just Yeet Street, continue what you're doing, but Desolate right here are just going to grab down this dragon. There's going to be a mountain dragon. I don't think they can contest this one.
Yeah, it's just going to make it easier for, oh jeez, Charlie.
I don't know why Charlie Smells tried to do that. Oh, that was not
good. That interaction! No. Oh no!
Oh boy, that is not good on Charlie Smells right there. And a little cocky right there, actually.
We said the overextension on the side of some of the Yeet members puts their team at risk.
And that was a play that you didn't need to do. You knew you lost the dragon. Your team's not there. Why would you do that? Just complete misplay right there on the side of Charlie Smells. No reason why you even want to contest it. Maybe if your whole team was there, you'd try to contest it. But at that point, you're alone. You're not going to be able to steal the dragon from Eat My Apples. I mean, they have Smite up, but like there's no reason for Charlie Smells to do that, and just that minor misplay just doesn't really help them out. They grab that dragon, they grab a kill.
They grab 2 towers, exactly. And I think this is kind of what they were talking about here. Oh no, it's the engage
Oh,
comes
that's going to
through.
be a three-man command. Shockwave, actually, Nature's Grass is going to be landing onto the side of all of the members. Here comes Charlie Smells to try his best to sweep out anything that he can. Eat My Apples might get taken down. Here comes XFO. T-Crank's going to be on a killing spree, but T-Crank gets taken down at the end of the day. That's going to be a shutdown going on the side of Blame My Support as well. And just trying their best to claw their way back is going to be Charlie Smells and Zero Battery. Charlie Smells, Zero Battery gets taken down, and Desolate wanted to destroy the Kings of Season 2, and they want to take out Yeet Street as they push down this base.
Oh my gosh, the one overstep by Charlie is someone that's carried his team through the past 2 seasons, is someone to be the leader here. It makes the overstep, and that gross overstep it was, as being in a 4v5 allows Desolate to take not only one tower in mid lane, but a second tower in the bot lane, and that means that they engage right before he can come back, and with all the damage that they can pump out, seeing as they are up in kills, up in items, up in experience, means that with the sustain from the Ocean Drakes as well, they were all sitting nice and healthy. Didn't matter how much CC T-Ray and Josidon and Zero Battery could lay down. T-Crank was going to go down. Everyone fell, and they were able to finish off this bottom lane tower and inhibitor. That means the split push, which is I was going to expect that they're waiting for, this Jax to get his second item before really pushing in hard. They hit the second item, and they just super accelerated this game here on the side of Desolate. They took that next step. They took what they could get, and then because someone gave them something else, they continued pushing. They capitalized on the mistakes and the overextension yet again from Yeet Street to take down an absolute control of this. Jax has teleport up and is going to keep Cassidy in this bot lane for the foreseeable future. This is going to be an easy way for Desolate just to set up now to take the Baron. They just have to take a little slow, clear out minions on the mid and top, set up your vision, make it easy for you. Jax will be down here, and if you leave Jax alone, he is sitting at 2.5 items with that team at. We'll be able to get some pressure down on the inhibitor towers with the help of the super minions. They don't need to engage this without Kog'Maw, though. They're doing it anyway.
They don't need to this, but here comes XFO. Call of the Forge God's going to be used as well. That's going to land onto 2 members as well. Charlie Smells is going to have to use the Zonya's Hourglass. That's going to be a nice explosive cast to try to disengage the 4 members. But here comes Desolate to try to sweep up Yeet Street right here. The Shockwave is going to land onto Zero Battery, but a nice Feather Storm's coming out on the side of T-Crank. But I don't think that's going to be enough on this side, as Desolate are... Desolate just not destroyed, but they get 2 kills out of 1. 2 for 1 team fight right there.
They are going to be able to get Baron off of that, but that's the overextension play that Yeet was doing in the last games, where they were looking to get more than they can take. The only reason why they're able to fall back is because of how far ahead they are. If they would have just slowly pushed out and placed the visions, they could have gotten all of that for free instead of giving up a kill onto the Zac in that regards. But now with Baron, they should be able to get a nice split push between the mid lane and the top lane going. Look to get that tier 2 and outer top.
And I don't think that was actually a horrible fight coming in on the side of the Yeet Street right there, because being able to salvage what they could at that point of the game, just having T-Crank land those Feather Storms onto all 4 members is actually not a bad thing to do. So I mean, just being able to stop that fight, being able to land all those Feather Storms, the CC really helped the Yeet Street not get destroyed as much as they did in that fight. It was only a 2-for-1, so not a huge lost in a team fight, but obviously not a good thing, as Zero Battery might get caught out. The Toucan comes in as well. Zero Battery gets taken down by Blame My Support. Not a good thing out of that one.
Yeah, the ward line not going to be in favor, as Jax is up here in the top lane.
Ooh, Charlie Smells gets taken down as well, and 1 by 1. Desolate are coming in for this game, and Yeet Street are not looking too happy right here, as they are slowly losing their base and slowly losing their teammates 1 by 1. T-Crank might be the one taken down. Nature's Grass is going to land onto 2 members as well, and looks like Shrie and Josidon are going to get taken down, and here it is. Desolate are pushing down the base, as they are trying to fend themselves to be the to get into semi-finalists. Last minute plays coming in on the side of Yeet Street, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Yeet Street are gonna get taken down. The Kings of Season 2 have been eliminated, and Desolate moves forward to the semi-finals.
Excellent job by Desolate. Control from the, basically go in this game. Eat My Apples repeatedly leading the charge in the CC and the engages, in the ganks and bot lane, leading to top lane, leading to all the objectives of Rift Heralds and the 4 dragons, able to knock down a lot of towers with Kog'Maw and Orianna laying out the damage from behind. Ornn with some excellent ults as well. Jack's got a split push on finally at the end. Took down the Kassadin as like the tip of the iceberg, the cherry on top of your sundae. Excellent series, my man. Excellent series.
It was an excellent series, but I really hate to be that person to just point out one big mistake. But I mean, if Charlie Smells didn't go for that dragon in that last mountain dragon area, I don't think all this would have been that bad. But I mean, just the small misplays that happened, it made Desolate come in further and further and be able to take this game. But I mean, a really nice job by Desolate, and coming into the playoffs when you're going into a bye week and you have such a good momentum coming from week 1, it is super, super good. And I think we might be having an interview for Desolate soon. We can grab anyone, actually. Who do you want to bring in, Amo?
I don't care. Whoever wants to jump on down. I'm not picky.
What the fuck is this?
Hey, watch it, man. You're live on stream.
Okay.
Yes.
Welcome. So,
What's up?
What's up?
Who are you? What'd you do?
I'm top lane. I got carried, full inted. I'm the resident Fiora one trick. Can't play any other character in this fucking video game. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, but I bring the personality. You know what I'm saying? All the ladies want to be like me, baby. You know what I'm saying? All the ladies want to be dudes just for me. You know what I'm saying? We don't kiss girls around here.
Nice. So I mean, how does it feel to like pick up a win onto Yeet Street right there? Just being able to dismantle them in games 2 and 3 with a reverse sweep.
Well, okay, so I want to go ahead and say that like Joe Siden played infinitely better than he did the last time we played. That dude, like, first, the Ornn gave fucking Resident Sleeper. I don't know why people are flaming me for support items. Like, I didn't upgrade it all the way. It still gives you extra gold. It's still perfectly fine. Everything else on Vlad fucking sucks against tanks, so I don't know why I'm getting flamed for that. But Joe Siden did a great job playing top. Honestly, Trier cost him the whole fucking series. But
do you want to expand on that? What do you mean by that?
Well, we gave him the most OP combo in the game right now, Nunu his ear, and he get like I don't know why he's hard camping top when like I don't know. First of all, I learned how to play Camille in the middle of the fucking game. Like I didn't know how to play Camille until like 30 minutes into that game. That was like my second Camille game, and then like he came top twice. I don't know why he's coming top. Like Joe Siden, you know, he played all right, but he also doesn't know how to shin TP very well. So like for that game, just completely irrelevant. Like the whole idea of that is get your Azir ahead and then buff him until he 1v9s, and you have like the best mid in the whole league. So I don't know why I don't know why he's not coming mid, you know. And then the second game, I don't even know if he was playing. He just came top once and made me fail flash, and like that's it.
I have a question then. Holy cannoli, I'm peeking so hard. Hey, it's me, your producer. But so my question is, the first game you guys we talked a lot about how you guys team comped in the first game. Not the greatest, but you guys really quickly turned around for the second and third game. Played a lot more control of a style. Played a lot more, confidently in yourselves, and you adapted. You pretty much played like carry top lane throughout the whole thing, the Vladimir into the Camille into the Jax, and finally found your stride into that third game. What was it more of like a team mentality, adaptability thing for you, or did it just something like spark to you for that third game, like, oh, we could actually win this?
Well, Like the first, we kind of pinpointed pretty early on the problem Sejuani. Just in general, that champ's OP. Like, like you saw what happened when we had it. Like the game wasn't even close when we had Sejuani. Like that champ's just kind of ridiculous. And so, I guess like both junglers are basically Sejuani one tricks, and like that champ. Like as soon as we banned that, like we were confident. Everybody felt perfectly fine. We got some engage in the Ornn support, and like decided we can take the Ornn away from Joe Siden and get some engage in our support, which is what we're lacking in game one. Is we can't get onto them regardless of how good we do in lane, right? Or whatever. We just don't have engage. So once we got that, like my play generally improved over the course of the series, but like there's still a lot that I got to get back into. I haven't played top lane in a full fucking year. And when I did play top lane, I was an Aurelia one trick, and she sucks. So, I'm doing my best. I spam Fiora and solo queue, and it gets banned every game, and it sucks. But like, other than that, like I think once we figured out that like Sejuani was the problem, the games were like honestly pretty easy.
One thing I noticed in Game 3, you kind of touched on how the junglers played. The aspect was what I think helped win Game 1 for Yeet was their ability for the jungler to repeat gank bot lane. And in Game 3, Eat My Apples on the Zac basically carbon copied what Game 1 was for Yeet. Was that the plan going in to just follow the Gragas around?
Well, it was more so like get the Kog'Maw ahead and we won't lose the game. Like, I was winning top like pretty hard, even though I got ganked once and like died. I was still ahead like 20 farm and like a level. So like I had full advantage top lane, mid was even, and bot lane like if we knew if we just get the Cog and Ornn ahead, like the game's pretty free. So, I mean, it was pretty basic. Like, I think the biggest concern for that entire game was the casting. Like, regardless of whether or not he goes even with Sindelian, Charlie Smells is just like a ridiculous player in like most games. So he's like hard to deal with.
Well, I mean, after that victory onto Yeet Street right there, I think you play. Who do you play next? Let's see.
It depends on tomorrow's matchup. So are you looking to? Do you want to go up against Polio or IRL?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, regardless of who we go up against, everyone thinks that the other team's gonna win, and I mean we don't. Personally, like, I'd like to play against Mango because like I'm not like. I'm sick of playing against these top laners that lock the fucking most OP tank that they can find and then like AFK in the lane, and like that shit's so boring. Like if I'm gonna fucking int feed or like be a non-factor, I want to at least have fun doing it. Like at least Mango plays the video game, has fingers, so like that would be nice. IRL, like I don't even know who's on that team. They have a good mid laner, right? Like I don't know. Like so yeah.
Hey,
I think Polio's just gonna win though.
The whole thing?
No, like that game. Like they're just gonna like 2-0. I don't really think IRL is. Sounds like I played one in-house with Sounds and League Fine, dude, full tilted. And, like if he's tilting in in-houses, like I can only imagine what the fucking games are like. He's super passive aggressive, so.
Well, other than that, I mean, anything else to add? Anything else to add to the stream? You want to say? Last minute roast. Last minute.
I mean, one thing I want to say: Toucan wants to shit talk the other support. Says he's garbage. So if you're watching, others.
Okay, we're just gonna drag him out at that right there. Okay, but I'm just gonna drag him out right there. But you guys, I want to ask you guys, because I already have my answer, but I want to hear you answer as well. And chat wants to know, who do you guys pin as your MVP for the series?
Amo?
Part of me wants to. I'm really looking towards Eat My Apples as the turnaround with the Sejuani play in Game 2 and adapting his play style to mirror what had gotten Yeet successful from Game 1, realizing that bot lane would be the focus and using that repeated gank style and the tankiness to be able to go down there and keep the Kog'Maw ahead. That being said, I think the slight advantage has to actually go on to the Toucan.
Yeah, okay.
His ability to take Ornn away from Yosidon and play it in the support role, and his ability to get the ults off, as well as the CC chain that led his team during the team fights, were extremely impactful. You saw in games 2 and games 3 where the Ornn ult wasn't successful, or wasn't successful in layering his CC, they lost. Where they were successful, especially in game 3, just crushed the bot lane, and those ultimates along with the Zac in combination allowed Kog'Maw to explode. So a slight edge on the side of Toucan for this.
Yeah, I also agree with you on that side. I think if somehow that Desolate actually plays Polio Drifters, I think the bottom lane of the Toucan and Blame My Support destroys the bottom lane of Polio Drifters, hands down. I don't even think, like, for me, I don't even think that's actually like an argument. I think they destroy it, and I think like if Desolate wants to propel themselves into like the finals or even win, it's gonna be based off of Blame My Support and the Toucan. The Toucan, I'm gonna say it now, is the best support in the league currently. I honestly believe it. Being able to play that Ornn, like when we saw that Ornn, we were like, is this like, we were confused. Like, just like you said, Amo, being able to flex that Ornn into the support position to deny Poseidon's Ornn, just incredible. Hands down for me, the Toucan is the best support in the league, MVP of this game, because of just being able, not just being able to play the Ornn, but just being able to deny it in the draft phase is just incredible.
It's not playing the Ornn to steal it. It's to play the Ornn to the fact that it was a better knock-up CC bot, Peel bot than an Alistar, which is, meant for that specific role.
Ornn, might have to cut you off, but
really
just
powerful.
some of the, and another thing I want to talk about, his ulties, the Call of the Forge God, he was putting these down he was headbutting them out at such good angles that you really couldn't avoid getting hit by them. Like, he was putting these at the perfect little like cross angles based on the line of sight from where the other team was coming from, that he really did a good job at narrowing down, getting his team a very clear-cut engage, making it to where Zac, once he elastic slingshot it in, everybody was already stacked on top of each other for the knock up right into the Let's Bounce. And you can't team fight against a team that can CC you for so long. Combine that with the brittle that Ornn brings, it's too easy.
Well, I mean, I'm curious to see what Desolate can actually do for the rest of the season. They have a lot of momentum. They just defeated like the winners of season 2. So if that's not like a big swing coming in on the side of Desolate, I mean, I don't know what else is, right? Yeet obviously not as strong this season as they were last season, but still, just having that momentum switch to you, having that momentum, having that mindset of you just defeated last season's champions, is going to be a really good thing for Desolate, and I'm really curious and I'm really excited to see how Desolate propels themselves into the playoffs.
Now, looking into how he said there's a possibility of what matchup they could honestly end up playing, honestly, for the sake of Desolate and for the sake of how these teams, finish off the season and how these teams play out, I honestly would much rather, like you said, see Desolate have to go against Polio versus them having to play against IRL.
And I think they have a big advantage of going into Polio. I mean, just it's such a seesaw, where Desolate is good, Polio is bad, and where Polio is good, Desolate isn't as good. But obviously, if they do play against Polio Drifters, Blame My Support of the Toucan destroys bot lane. Like, hands down, Polio Drifters bot lane is just not as good as the Toucan and Blame My Support.
Yeah, but this is a really good way to start off playoffs. I will say that. We've had about 4 hours of contact going, and now we're, finally here about 10 o'clock Central Time, 11 Eastern Time. I want to thank everybody that tuned in. We seem to get a lot of people come back to the community for the playoffs, so that was real nice to happen. I want to thank, AMO and Flash for making their appearances, giving us 3 hours of quality content. And tomorrow AMO is going to be right back here with T-Crank instead, and they're going to be giving us the other quarterfinal matchup. Make sure you catch that. You're going to get to see your boys Royal Air go against Riddle Raiders. 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. So that's going to be a little bit earlier than this game, but still, still going to be here on the same channel. Make sure you all tune in for that. I'm going to be here to watch it because I know I want to watch some quality League of Legends. But once again, I want to thank these two for their cast. I want to thank the teams that participated. Thank everybody that tuned in. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. There's the Prophecy Cup. I'm your host, Manny Sunny. Stay beautiful.